2. We're live.
Are we?
We are.
Why didn't you tell me?
I just did. Ain't never been this early. That's right. What's up? Sarcastic Grandpa, Swifter Bear. Chris said I won 2 million sushi points yesterday. False.
He did. I heard it.
I didn't.
You did.
I didn't at all.
But you did.
Actually.
You did.
What's going on, everybody? We're here. And we're ready. Lumberjack Tim, what's going on? That one Bobby. Is it Bobby?
Holy
Bobby?
crap,
That
don't
one
ever
Bobby?
give this guy my colors.
That one Bobby. Swifter Bear, Brent, Vector, James, Danger Boy. How we all doing today? Jason, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's
My
great.
paints are all out of whack.
Your paints are all out of whack?
Like 100% out of whack.
100% out of whack. I put all the amp colors up there for Dallas yesterday.
This guy.
What's going on, Captain Schmo? How we all doing? How's it going up there, Jason? You look very perplexed.
I mean...
Yes.
I mean...
Messy, what's going on? First time chat. Welcome in. Good morning from Australia. Nice. What time is it over there? I wonder. That's a far... You're either up really early or it's the next day for you, correct? Technically?
Or it's the next day.
Right?
It probably is the next day.
It is the next day for you, technically. Zilfer, what's going on? Rattlecan. Stan. Jason's adjusting his paints.
Good God, man. He literally just leaned over here and put colors back wherever the first hole was.
Nice. Dark Mockery. Anna, T. Schmid, Wirehead. Hopefully you all made it in yesterday for yesterday's shenanigans. We had a great time with Dallas from AMG. Dunbris, that Chai Cat. Yeah, we had a good time yesterday. Didn't you, Jason? Oh, hey, thank you for those bits. Love minis. We appreciate you. What about you? You had a pretty good time yesterday, didn't you, Jason?
I had a
You were just sitting there making noises, giving commentary in quotes.
100%. I just had a blast.
Watching people finish models on stream.
I had a blast. Like, I don't know if I could have had any more of a blast.
Dallas, AMG Dallas says, this stream is lacking something. Hey, let's give some heart. Hey, Dallas, we really enjoyed you in here yesterday. It was so
I
fun.
mean, if you're into that sort of thing. Are you home already?
Yeah, are you?
He's got to be home.
Where are you?
They left at like 4 in the morning. I think they left at like 4 or something.
Danger Boy, can you help me sort my new Wizard's Butt paints? What should they be sitting next to in the hue chart? Any ideas? You should put them next to the butts side of the hue chart.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be correct, Jason?
Correct. The butts. Mine are all on this fancy tray. Right here.
That's a lot of butts.
That's all my Wizard's butts and eclectic salmon.
Which is kind of like it's, I'll be back. Yes, you will, Dallas. We're going to have some more days.
That's a tray of butt.
You're playing Night Rain right now on the couch. Man, I wish I was there.
What?
I wish I was that. That sounds fun. Night Rain? Wait, Night Rain? Is that the...
It's Thursday.
I know, dude. It feels like a Friday.
Hang on, let me check.
Punisher.
Let me check.
62 months.
Let me check. Let me look at my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, equal sign, work week. Jeez.
Jason came in a little spicy today. He was telling me,
could you zoom in a bit?
Can you adjust my cameras? Can you do this?
Can you zoom in a bit?
He doesn't understand, chat.
Can you please?
I zoomed in.
He
doesn't understand.
Please.
How can we get the other butt paints which are in the set? Old Gamer, you can't.
You can't.
There you go. That's your answer. Stan says, I think you need to let Dallas know what the tamales are.
Chris, could you punch out so we can see the whole model?
Whoa. Man, this guy. Talent today. I don't know what happened to Talent today. He just came in here, guns a-blazing.
Because he left the green M&Ms in the bowl.
I guess so. That's a lot of butt with some fishiness. That's right. Is this what you're painting today? What are you painting today, Jason?
This is what I've been painting, Chris. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but this is what I've been painting.
Wait, let's start over. Welcome in, everybody. I did not decide to choose violence today. But Jason, on the other hand, for some reason, guns a-blazing. Beep, beep. Chris, zoom in. I did zoom in. I zoomed in his face. I zoomed in the model's face. What else do you want from me? Now his chin is getting cut off, and it's driving my OCD, and it's bonkers.
Well, fix it. I'm
not fixing it.
I'm not the camera guy. Why do I have to fix everything?
Look at the model. Actually, it should be.
No, but I don't want.
There you go. That's much better. Because when you're looking down at the model, Jason... No, I don't want your viewers.
You just put the finishing touches on weathering an artillery piece just to drop it and have it explode. No! I don't like that at all. That doesn't make me feel any better. That's gross.
Fuse, didn't you do something to that red after that red? Yeah, what did you do to this? This was on your...
This is exactly the way it was when you left it last.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Yeah,
false.
Looks totally like this.
It literally wasn't.
If you go back in the video, you will see that I am correct and you are wrong.
Okay, so on this day, you didn't do that.
Yes, I did.
On the Sneaky After Dark is when you... Okay, yes, it was. So on December 16th, 2025, the year of our Lord, you
Incorrect.
Put some kind of red filter.
Stop lying to the people. Don't lie to them.
We're in a fight. Lying. Jason came in here and chose violence today.
Stop with your lying.
Wanted to give a shout out to the fulfillment team for the hard work over the last few weeks. Hey, that one, Bobby, thank you. We appreciate that. They've been working their butts off. So thank you. We appreciate that. Any plans for a Fantastic Four MCP? Asking Dallas. Bald man, Dallas isn't here anymore.
He is. He's in chat.
But he's not here, man. He's not like here. Well, actually, everybody's here, technically, if we want to really get philosophical.
What is this?
That's your Project Neutral. That's your Project Neutral. Your other one was Dallas's cup. Oh my goodness. This is amateur hour. That is your Project Neutral, Jason. You told me not to empty the Project Neutral. The real question were how Christmas tacos. Christmas tacos were awesome, Doghouse.
Oh my God.
They were delicious.
So
Shout out
good.
to Yessie's mom.
So good.
Is that technically Wizard's Butt by diluted? Kind of, Sir Blame. You can look at it that way. Is an official date for when the Adepticon Paint Contest rules will be revealed, says Anna Starkey.
I do not know yet. Soon. Very soon.
We will let you guys know as soon as possible.
Very soon.
And Wandered is asking, hey guys, what palette is that? He uses a piece of artist glass or something like that.
It's glass.
You can go on Amazon and type in glass palette and you'll find the same one. No free pub for Amazon, but that's where he got it.
Yeah, if there's anybody in the world that needs no free pub, it's Amazon. They make me watch commercials on my Prime sub stuff now, bastards.
My AMG Dallas
and we're
says,
supposed to feel sorry for them. Oh, but times are tough. We have to make you watch commercials.
Dallas said, my water was so clean yesterday. I know, I gave you your own special cup, Dallas. I did that on purpose so that we wouldn't affect Project Neutral. So,
boy, I sure wish I was treated well.
What do you mean? I kept your Project Neutral. I cleaned your palette. I changed your camera angles. I did everything. Right.
You act like changing my camera angles was for me. That's because you had your friend in here painting.
Oh, I see now. I see what's going on here.
I see what's going on.
Okay, all right. Okay, I see. Okay, everybody calm down. Hey, welcome in, everybody. We're so glad you are here. Swifter Bear says, how did you achieve the waxy texture on the metal? Waxy texture on the metal. How'd you do that, Jason?
What does that mean?
I don't know what that means, Swifter Bear.
What does that mean?
Explain yourself. Are you being a masochist and doing non-metallic metal for the trim, says Shark?
No.
A masochist. Well, how does that make him a masochist? I don't think... I think it's more torture than anything. No, it's not torture if you like doing it. I take it all back. Old gamers really wanted to know, why should I choose a glass palette or a dry palette with all the rounds, and what is better? With all the rounds? I don't know what that part of that question means, but you're probably asking why would you use a glass palette. You should only ever
choose what you enjoy using.
Technically, a glass palette is technically a dry palette. Technically, right?
Yes.
So, old gamer, they're kind of the same.
Yeah, only ever use what you enjoy using. I'm not going to tell you why you should or shouldn't. I can tell you why I use one. I prefer the glass palette because it doesn't dilute my paints.
Okay.
I like all of my paint every time I go to the palette to be able to be used in its base form so that I can be the one in control of how I dilute it. If I dilute it for opacity or for flow, I want to be able to make that choice every time I go to the palette. There's no place in my painting style where a paint is generally going to need to be exactly the same every time I go load my brush. Because I thin my paint for one layer, then I don't want it thin for the next layer. Then I'll thin it again, then I won't thin it. And so I always want to be able to go back to the paint the way it came out of the bottle.
Kyle says, good morning, Jason.
So
it is morning.
So that guy.
Good morning, Jason.
That guy's been trying to get out of my skin all day.
Oh, Joshua, okay? Thank you for explaining. So, old gamer was asking, like the dry palettes with the little spheres, the half spheres in them.
I don't like those because when the paint dries, it kind of gets all you chip it off and stuff like that in the cup.
Old gamer saying, doesn't it dry too quickly on a glass palette?
Nah. What's
too quickly? I mean,
put less paint out and put it out more often, right?
Yeah. And it's not as fast as you think.
If you're putting out a ton of paint and spreading it really thin, then yes, you will run into problems. But the goal is not. So one of the things I talk about a lot is when you watch people on YouTube or painting videos, a lot of times, they will spread their paint out in a very broad pool of paint. And by spreading it out real thin, right? This down here is pretty thin in the tail of my paint, but this up here is the droplet. So I'm grabbing the side of the droplet and pulling it down here with the water on my brush. That way I can thin how I want it. But that little area will dry up a lot quicker than the droplet because it's spread thin. More surface area touching water means more evaporation. More evaporation dries quicker. So just don't spread your paint out. Keep the droplet together as a droplet, and then just pull the paint away from the droplet that you need to paint with for that particular brush load, and then go back and repeat as necessary, is how you use a dry palette.
And Swifter Bear was asking not about waxy, he meant to say wavy.
Wavy?
Yeah, how did you get that wavy texture? It's actually on the model.
Yeah, so most of that is the texture on the model, and it was just done with the dry brush, very light dry brush, to pick those textures up on those flat surfaces. I use the DD2, the domed dry brush, the middle size one.
Yeah, it kind of showed up when you did that too. I didn't even notice it until
use a high contrast color and just don't press very hard, and you won't get a lot of paint except on the raised edges, of course. And those raised edges are just these faint kind of texture in the sculpt, and it looks great.
Now, Killer saying, if I'm painting mostly human skin, what color primer should I use?
I mean, I use black a lot, but dark black, the black brown primer can work very well. The red, the purple, it's up to you, right? How do you like to paint? If you're going to do, we just did the flesh tutorial on stream the other day. If you want to just base coat, highlight, wash, re-highlight, then I suggest doing black or black brown, something very dark, and not worry about it affecting the skin tone too much for anything other than a shadow. If, on the other hand, you really like to glaze your skin color over the top of, purples and reds and greens, like I show sometimes, then use one of those colors. Dark purple winds up being your best primer, or red oxide, something like that. When we talk about these things, there's no definitive answer. A lot of it's always going to come back and say, how do you want the finished product to look, and how do you like to paint, right? because when I sit around and say, how do you like to paint flesh? And you're like, well, I like to base coat, wash, and then highlight. Well, then, a dark base layer is going to help you a lot because it's going to maintain those shadows for you on the flesh.
Mm-hmm. What color is this, Jason?
This is warm brown.
It's warm brown. Okay. For a second, I thought it was burnt sienna.
Nope, warm brown.
Ogre's got a question. Some of my paint seem to be hard to get out of the bottle. Is it thickening as it gets older, or am I just getting paint clogged in the spout/nozzle?
No idea. Could be. Well, usually the old paint isn't an issue unless you've left the bottles open. Our paint lasts, I won't say forever, but it lasts a hell of a long time. We've got people that still have the old first edition 17 mil bottles that they use. So the seal and all that prevents it from drying out. Did you remove, sometimes if you have taken the cap off, the little O-ring seal on the inside will shift. So take the cap off, make sure the O-ring seal is seated properly and not blocking the actual hole that the paint goes through.
And what's the highlight color for that jade armor? What did you do for that?
Oh boy, it started with dark purple. Then we moved to...
I'm trying to remember.
Dark gray blue.
Right.
Then jade. Then bright jade. And then bright green. And then the dry brush was faded.
Faded green?
No, bright pale green.
Bright pale green. That's what it was. Yes, Joshua Lee. This model is from Conquest. I don't remember the name of it.
It's a Dweghom Ironclad Drake.
Yeah, and somebody was asking the difference between like glass and tile. It's kind of the same consistency.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a glossy tile. It's essentially the same thing.
Tile just came because it's easy to get. You used to be able to go buy like a case of white, kitchen tile at Home Depot for nothing. $8.
Yeah. For
a box of 50 of them, in the construction aisles. And that'll last you forever. And you can stick them in the freezer, actually. And then take them out of the freezer and they'll start to sweat. They'll start to have condensation on them as they warm up to room temperature. And the condensation acts like a early wet palette. People used to do that a lot because you would get a little moisture on the surface of the tile due to it sweating at room temperature.
Yeah.
Like taking any glass out of the fridge or freezer. And so I knew people that would just stack the tiles up in their freezer and grab one as they needed to paint with it, and then clean it and shove it back in the freezer.
Call Me Molds says, I can see you don't take the excess of paint on the hand in this case. Is that because you're base coating?
I'm base coating, yeah. I'm looking for opaque layering, so I want the paint to be at its full vibrancy or full opacity, and I'm moving the paint around as a base paint, so I'm not having to fight. Like if I get a big amount of paint on the model, I just push it around, right? And all I have to do is be careful I keep it in the lines. So I don't want it ultra thin because I want it to cover quickly. And I don't take it off of my finger because I want all that paint to go on the model to give me that base coat. I'm basically blacking out the areas that we had already painted, although I'm not concerned if a little bit of the jade or purple still shows through. It'll still help with the metallics.
What's your plan? What's the color plan?
Bronzes,
Bronze,
I think. That's why I'm doing this warm brown underneath it, so it gives it a little bit of warmth to the otherwise, kind of not too warm bronze metallics.
Okay, so, and are you going to use magnesium at all?
Am I going to use magnesium at all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
No? Okay.
It's too dark, I think.
Too dark? That's Alex WP is saying you go in TMM or non-metallic metal for this scheme.
Metallic paints.
Okay, gotcha. That's what I thought you might be doing because you like to start with that magnesium for the base every once in a while.
Go with metallic paints on these guys just so we can show you how I would do it at an army level. We do a lot of one-offs with metallics, but a lot of people have been asking lately about metallic paint, so we'll show you. The whole Dweghom army that I'm doing, which I got all the rest of the models today. Well, not all of them. I'm missing the Hell Drake and the Sorcerer for the Hell Drake, but
Will Monument ever make other colored metallics? Green, red, purple, etc.?
So you can mix in our transparents with our current metallics or our metallic medium and get any color you want.
Transparents work
I won't
great
do.
for
I
that.
think I don't think we'll do what like Vallejo has done and create a line of colored metallics. It's kind of lazy. I don't. You'd never use 90% of them.
It's a lot of metallics.
Yeah, you'd never use 90% of them. Colored metallic is cool for that little one spot that you need it, but you don't ever really, in my opinion, need a whole bottle of it unless you're painting something very specific. I can see the world of Gundam really benefiting from stuff like that.
Sure.
And there's probably some other things that I'm not thinking of where it would be really cool to have, colored metallics all the time. I don't paint that way, so I don't see the value in it. I think that having the metallic medium and being able to put the transparent, make purple metallic whenever I need it, that's valuable.
Jason, will you ever do jewelry in your metalworking days, or you ever do it?
Yep,
Okay.
I've done it. My mom makes jewelry, and so I would go and hang out at my mom's place and work with her. I did most of it in silver and bronze. There was some really cool stuff that she could do to keep the bronze and the silver from sintering together when she was sintering metal, so that it wouldn't alloy. So you could do like silver and bronze pieces together, which was really cool.
Anubis is saying, will Monument ever do special effects like bile, blood, or vomit?
We kind of do blood. The dark crimson gloss is a blood effect. The petroleum brown is an effect like spilled oil, but we don't really look at those. I'm not saying we wouldn't do them. We're coming out with weathering pigments.
Yep.
So we're always looking at things we can do.
Right.
But no, right now, I do have an effect paint that I have been testing that is a rust and grime effect, which is really cool. It's a 3-dimensional effect. So things like that I would look at.
Yeah.
That add texture to the model, not just a color. So we're working on some of that.
Okay. Jeff's got a question about Noosh. I did 10-to-1 paint to Noosh in a dab of water. The highlight coat rubbed off as I was moving the Noosh around with a brush. It was on the top rounded side of a large gun barrel. It didn't rub paint off from any of the flat surfaces when I applied it. The paint cured for a couple days before I put Noosh on. What could have caused this?
Usually if you're moving the under layer, it's that the paint was re-wet because it could have been airbrushed. Your highlight could have been airbrushed. I don't know if it was or not. But it didn't have enough adhesion, so no matter how long it cures, it was either done too thin, and so you didn't have any of the resin from the paint that you put on there that was still grabbing the model. That's always a problem. That's why we talk about if you're doing effects in thin layers before nooshing, put a varnish coat on. Because that varnish acts as a clear protectant for all your paint underneath as you do the rubbing and things like that. Because remember that what makes paint grab onto the surface is the resin. When you thin a paint, you thin the resin, and you can thin it to the point where the resin stops really gripping as well as you wish it did. And then you can be stuck with the paint giving you color on the model, but not actually adhering to the model. And the way you find out that it's not adhering to the model is you try to put other paint over the top of it, right? And it pulls and washes away or tears and things like that, all the stuff we hate. Airbrush tends to put the paint on when you thin it, too thin for the resin to really adhere well. So you build up layer after layer to do that. But other than that, if other flat surfaces were right, it could be that it was just too light of a coat of that color.
Yeah, Jeff said it was airbrushed.
Yeah, it could be that it was too light of a coat of that color that hit that surface, since the surface at the top of the barrel or that cylinder was too little paint, then it just rubs right off. So if you're airbrushing and then wanting to noosh over airbrushing is delicate paint work sometimes, depending on how you're applying it. It doesn't have to be, like a base coat isn't necessarily. It's not by default going to have a hard time. But depending on how light you've sprayed, you may want to put a coat of varnish over the top to prevent that.
Swifter Bear says, mine and hobby, somewhat personal question. I'm getting back into music writing, but want to continue progress in my painting hobby.
Sure.
How do you, both Chris and Jason, balance your hobbies and work?
Wow. Time management is the hardest thing in the world for me. And that's what we're talking about, right? you're talking about time management and what your expectation for your time is. So I have done music in the past and balanced music with hobby. And when I'm doing that, it for me is a lot of, if I'm not on a clock that is defined by somebody else. So if I can choose what I do every free moment, then I'm going to go with what I feel I'm the most inspired to do at any given time, because that's where I'll put the most of my best effort. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So if like right now you're saying, oh, I'm inspired, I got this idea for a song, and you're at work and you want to go home and work on, then do that. But, for me, if I want to paint, then everything else goes out the door and I paint. I love playing video games. I love goofing off. But lately I've been painting, and I'm like, I don't give a damn. My court mates and Eve want to know where I'm at. I'm like, I'm painting models. If you want to kick me out of the court, see you later. I'm painting models. So I think there's a lot of that, just pick what you think is going to do the most for you at any given time. Go with that. That's a simple answer. If, however, it's on someone else's clock because you're playing music for a band and you have a show on, next month that you got to have a new song for, then, you have to discipline yourself to say where your priority is. Is that song more important than you getting your army done for Friday playing games with your friends? That's the part of time management that I usually pick poorly with.
Yeah, most of my time is spent here and in the car. So when I eventually actually get to my place of hobbying, right after, like, when work is done and like I'm shutting off, it really has to grab me, whatever that thing is, right? Because it's very limited in time. So the balance comes with when you choose the thing you want that is inspiring to you most of the time. That's kind of where my head is at normally when it comes to work and hobby. My hobby time is very fluctuating depending on what, external factors are happening throughout the day. But if I'm inspired to paint, that's kind of, it's very separate, right? But the balancing of time, it kind of all depends on what your term of balance is, because that means very different for a lot of people. But when I'm hobbying or doing that thing, I always make sure I'm doing that thing, if that makes sense. That's how I balance it out. You have to make the time to do it, though, even if it's a small amount of time. Could be 5 minutes, could be 10 minutes. That's the balance part, right? If you keep putting off the balance, then you won't ever get there, right? Because when I am taking my time off, I'm really taking it off, right? So that when I can come in here, focus, so that when, Jason talks about this too, the unpaid bills, right? You got unpaid bills or you have stuff to do, I tend not to hobby. But when I'm all done with all of that, then I can actually sit down and enjoy it. And my 5 minutes of hobbying could be a lifetime's worth of somebody else's time, because that's all I'm doing at that current moment. If that makes sense. That makes sense?
Are you talking?
Jason doesn't listen to me ever. But Chris, you're saying, no, that's what I'm saying, Joshua Lee, is that when I do take time off, it resets me, because I'm being very intentional with it. I'm never not intentional, and specifically with hobbying.
Well, it's hard to schedule your hobbies.
Yeah.
Because it starts to feel like work.
Yep.
And so you have to be very careful with saying that I go and paint every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. after dinner.
Yeah.
And I paint for 2.5 hours until 10.
Right.
And if you put that on the calendar and you get everybody in your life to know it, then it starts to where it can almost feel like it's a job. It's an expectation. I tend to let my hobbies be things that I'm like, I'm really invigorated to go do them, and so I'll clear out the space to go do them when I find that I'm invigorated to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the other night when I came and streamed out of the blue, because I was sitting around at the house going, I don't want to sit at the house. I want to go paint. And so I did. And that's where my hobby comes alive the most for me. Now the stream is the one thing that is calendared for us, right? It's on both Chris and mine's calendar. every day, every week. And it's really cool because it's an expectation in the, the opposite direction, because it's during your workday, right? It's during all the other monotony of calendared items that this one pops up and it's like, oh, it's time for stream. Rad.
That's right. But that's also a part of work. So it's kind of that fine balance, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Lumberjack, unless you have a group hobby night, then you need a schedule. That's true. But then you're kind of in that collective. That's almost like vacation for me.
We're planning to do some hobby on Sunday.
Yeah.
As a group.
This is why I'm excited to see Jason paint these Conquest models, Shark. Seems like every time I check in on painters, someone has made a new paint brand. Market work itself out, but sheesh. There's a lot of them out there. That's for sure.
Yeah, a lot of choices. It's become very easy to make a paint line.
Yeah.
Because all the Chinese paint manufacturers, you see all the Chinese brush manufacturers now starting to market their paintbrushes direct to our hobby, because they're losing so much money right now with all the businesses not buying from them, that they're having to figure out how to keep themselves relevant. Same with the paint brands. And so they're making it very easy for companies to buy paint from them and start up their own Kickstarter brand. There was a paint company in China that was saying that they would give you your first order free if you had a successful Kickstarter.
Oh.
They sent us it's like read the room. They sent us an email.
Interesting.
Would you like to make paint? We notice you are in the hobby industry.
Oh.
Hey. You didn't notice very intently, did you?
We should make some paint, Jason.
Read the room.
That's what we should do.
Read the room.
Prime Painter, any product releases for Adepticon, that's the hope. That's the hope.
Yes, indeed.
That is the hope. Absolutely, Ogre. That's why we're here. Plus, all of those, there's quite a bit. If you go back the last couple, Ogre, if you look at, what day was it? December 14th? December 14th? No, December 15th, we had a lot of good bits on airbrushing. I captured a couple, so I'm planning on having Ryan edit down like a basics of using our primers and stuff like that. But go check out that video I just linked to you. That's obviously on vehicles, but there's a lot of good fundamental airbrush tips in that video I linked. Bald man, you're really wanting us to add Monument Tacos to the feta chili, aren't you?
Not happening.
Oh, I just brought it up for you, Bald man. I got you. We're not going to add tacos, Monument Tacos? Tacos were delicious today, though.
Why do we do that?
To feta chilies?
You can literally go anywhere and get a taco.
But not. What if it was a taco filled? Hear me out. What if it was a taco filled with chili and feta on top of the taco?
You don't listen, do you?
We could do a taco filled with chili and feta chili.
This man makes a mockery of the hard work I put into things, chat. This is why I don't listen to him ever.
I don't make a mockery. That actually sounds really good. No, we didn't have the tamales. Tapple Jackson, those are different from today's event, right?
She makes tamales to sell to us individually. Yes. She doesn't serve the tamales as part of the package of catering. She caters the tacos. So Yezi's mom, her whole family, really.
She does. Yeah.
Her grandmother was there. I think it was her sister was there. They come and do the tacos for us. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Double T says, I wish my buddies would paint with me. I went and taught a little painting crew at our FLGS for some people. Had a team that copied one of my Blueberry Marines. Nice. Very little help, and some cute little girl that painted a Pikachu. Nice. Look at doing this again with my fam was super stressful and fun. I got zero painting it, but show people, hey, you are spreading the good word. That's good. Definitely good. fettuccine noodle fried in a taco shape filled with chili, says Anna. That actually sounds really good.
No, I mean we'll have feta chili on the menu that is, like Southwest or Sonoran style feta chili.
No, it's feta and chili and fettuccine. We have all of the options.
This is not your idea, you shush. You don't have any idea what you're talking about.
This is the reason I thought it was feta and not fettuccine. Hey, tomato. Lumberjack, you tried. That's the point.
Chris just makes a mockery of my great ideas.
This is false. Tech Elf bet Dallas would love some tacos.
He got some. He had great tacos when he was here.
Yeah, but he didn't get tamales.
He did not get tamales.
That's how we know Dallas
Sucker!
is coming into town is when he misses tamale day.
Got a plan. Plan our taco day and tamales right around when Dallas is coming to town.
Ballman says, Jason, have your people call my people. We'll get this feta tacos to market 2027 first quarter. Wow. Okay. Bring it down to the numbers.
If you have anybody out there that's a restaurateur, we can do this.
I'd buy a Monument Hobbies Pro Krill t-shirt with a taco on it. Okay. Duly noted.
Just a random shirt. Monument Hobbies. We make the best paint. It has a taco.
We make the best paint. Taco.
Best paint, period. And then there's a taco.
Is a gyro technically a feta taco? I don't know that, Chai Cat. That's a good way of putting it, though. Monument tacos, patent pending. That's right. Speaking of tacos, I said, speaking of tacos, good God. Can't hear me. He's not doing this right. He can't hear me because he's so tuned me out that I'm in a different planet right now. Jason, are you there? It's all this, or this is like a really good dubstep or like some kind of wild drop that he's doing, right? Speaking of tacos, and then he drops it. We could be waiting for a minute. Hey, Swifter Bear says, welcome in, everybody. Swifter Bear, thank you for picking that up. Hey, what are we doing today, Jason?
I'm painting.
What are you painting? Bring us up to speed on this model.
I'm painting a dragon.
So you are painting with warm brown and you're just finding all the trim bits, yeah?
Base coating for our metallic paints. Putting a warm brown underneath what will be a bronzy color. It'll give a good ability to show through that first layer. We showed a little while ago when I painted the axe on the warrior, I think it was. How to underpaint for metallics and then glaze metallics. Makes them work a lot more like non-metallic painting. And give you more control over your light source than metallic paints do. Metallic paints are really not great for storytelling because they allow the light in the room you're looking at the model in play too much of a part in how the model looks. If you painted with metallics, you've all had the situation arise where it's like, the model looked good in my house. Why does it look different here? And it's because, well, here has different lights. Here has fluorescence, and you have a nice, broad spectrum lamp in your house.
Joshua says, how long until Monument makes framables for the Age of Angra character arts? Ooh, that would be kind of cool.
Probably never. Not impossible, but not in the cards right now.
We've got a couple new ones coming in the mix, though. Yeah, those are the ones I'm talking about, little Billy. Jason was mentioning some of those Adrian ones a while ago. There's some cool new framables coming.
Yeah, really awesome trio of framables on the way. with art from Adrian Smith.
Choker of Chicken says, are you thinning those metallics since you're basing with a brown?
Yeah, we'll thin them. We'll kind of glaze with them. They won't be like a ultra thin glaze, but we'll be glazing.
Frameable tacos, Sharku? I don't know. Frameable tacos. See, this is why. Lumberjack Tim says, Fuse, my best friend owns 3 restaurants, Tim. That's a lot.
Let's hook it up, Tim.
Hit him up. Instead of tacos, how about Monument Queso in Pro Acryl bottles? Not a bad idea.
Like squeeze queso?
I could actually see Jason doing that.
Squeeze queso? Now we're talking. I'm a fiend for queso.
Digging the contrast.
I ought to not eat anything else at the Mexican restaurant except the queso.
You do like queso.
I love it.
A good queso is not bad. Where do you see the miniature painting business in 10 years from now? Prime Painter really trying to dive deep today.
Great question.
That is a great.
I don't know. I loved those crystal ball talks, like what could be possible. I think that we wind up hitting, every 5 or 6 years, we wind up hitting a new kind of saturation point. We see a big upturn in like GW or something that gets a lot of people involved, like what's kind of going on right now with the secret level stuff, and a lot of people paying attention to Warhammer 40K, but not necessarily in the tabletop gaming space. Some of that is just, in the video games and Dawn of War and that stuff, which is always good.
There's Total War, Dawn of War, all those are coming out now.
We get more people attracted to the hobby. So we see a little bit of a rise in, attention and people wanting to learn about the hobby, see if it is for them. And then you lose a lot of traction, every 5-year period or so with people who have, bought some stuff and then it just wasn't for them. It didn't fit their lifestyle. It was a good question earlier about how do you make time? A lot of people buy the stuff and can't make time. It depends on when they jump on. So you're always dealing with life when dealing with a hobby-based business that is a luxury good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
People starting families, having kids, and not being able to paint or getting married or whatever, just growing out of it.
Yeah.
Their game that they love died. Their friend group that played games with moved away, and they don't really feel like painting by themselves, But, I think that like all art, I think there is always a drive to create.
Yeah.
And the one thing that will never and has never stopped for me personally is the ability to pick up a model and create.
Yeah.
And I think that will always be here. People talk about, printing of minis in color, and that will be a thing that gets better and better technology.
Yeah.
And, so people be like, yeah, but what happens when you can just print out your Space Marines in the colors you need? Well, you've been able to print out stuff on colored printers for eons, but people still buy paintings. And I think that there will always be the need for people to have the getaway, the kind of catharsis, the mental space and relief that comes from going away into the world of creation that will keep things like miniature painting, palette, and canvas painting going. They don't go away. It's like woodworking,
Yeah.
People still do it. And if anything, I think the more the world feels cold and automated, the more people migrate towards things that remind them they're human. And the arts tend to thrive in those situations, even though people are worried about the commercial ramifications of, but if minis are painted or painted, what's going to happen to Monument Hobbies? You're going to be able to sell enough. We'll always be able to sell enough paint so long as we want to.
Yeah.
That number may change as to what our capabilities are. If right now 1 million people buy hobby paint, and in 10 years, 1 million people buy hobby paint and it hasn't grown, then we'll just be whatever we are. We didn't get into this to be billionaires.
Yeah.
We got into this to enjoy painting with our friends. And so whatever number of friends that equals, right? If the stream goes down to 30 people watching, we'll paint with 30 people.
Yeah.
If the stream goes up to 30 million people watching, we'll figure out how to paint for 30 million people, right? So I don't really think in those terms of what the technology does, but I think it's going to become easier and easier for people to get, color on their models. The the world of applying paint, I don't think you can really automate that to a point that changes much. You put paint on a brush and you brush it on the model. Paint pens and stuff like that are garbage. They're fun. They're neat trinkets. You might use them for trim, but you don't paint models with pens. Pens have been around for decades and they never have done that. It's just, people need something new to sell, so you get gimmicks. So there'll be a lot of gimmicks. And we'll all come back to enjoying time with painting because it's more than color on models. A lot of people just don't get that. This is not just about selling you a color and you go put it on plastic. A lot of it is the journey of putting it on that plastic that makes painting what it is. The ability to sit down with friends or alone and just forget the day and create something cool, paint that Space Marine, go away into that escapist universe you love so much, whatever it is. Those are the things, the intangibles that, you can't replace with technology. So 10 years, I'll be 65 years old. And if I have anything to say about it, I'll be sitting here painting with you. So.
All right, I'm back. Sorry. Had to use the restroom, chat.
Old man Chris.
Old man Chris. How do you guys deal with many new brands jumping in? Says Minor Vape Paints.
It's easy for us. We focus on making the best paint we can. The noise that comes from the ease of Kickstarter and doing things without investing in it at a high level is just that. It's just noise. We've seen over the years a ton of paint companies come and go. They launch a Kickstarter, they make $500,000, and you never hear about them again. And you're like, well, okay. We don't really think about it. We just focus on doing what we do. We paint all the time. So we always have a test market for our paint. We go and we come up with new ideas.
Well, and you're testing them, yeah, right.
And then if they make the cut, then we sell them. And we just try to run a good business that is a good partnership for our customers to be involved in, whether it be you guys and gals as the end user who have fun with our products, get to come hang out with us, enjoy learning painting, or if you own a retail shop and you want to make money off of selling our products, we just focus on being the best business we possibly can for anybody and everybody that wants to go along with us. That's at whatever level. So
that's right. Dallas says every day is a good day when you paint with friends.
100%.
I guess so.
100%.
I guess so. Joshua says I refuse to back paint lines on Kickstarter. There are already so many good options on store shelves. There's quite a bit.
Anybody that's been here long enough knows my view on Kickstarter, so I find it hard to back products where people can't put their own money into it to launch it, because if they don't have the faith in their product to put their own money in it to bring it to market, why should I? That's just an old world business mentality right there. You got to believe in it more than I do, right? If you're trying to sell it to me. That's why I stick by. I would never release anything I don't use. So if you stop watching the stream, you're either dead in a depressive cycle that you'll hop out of eventually, or your phone is dead. Hopefully one of those you can recharge your phone. The other one doesn't happen because you'll come in here and get not depressed because we got you.
Yeah.
And the other one, I mean, that's the only thing we all share is that we all pass away, right? So
that's true. Yeah.
We'll all do that together. What's your opinion on the use of AI for your business for creating or design art, etc.? That's a great question. AI is a bad term, is where I'll start. There is no artificial intelligence yet. They keep trying to say, and they keep trying to force these fake robots that talk and act like they have their own voice when they don't. They're just going by programmed algorithms that set the base of what they start saying, and then they just start word vomiting. As much as these tech gurus would love to believe that there's a computer in a back alley thinking for itself someplace, that's not true, to my knowledge. what we have is automation, and automation is becoming smarter because people are programming more human thought or human
tendencies,
human logic into automation, right? Automation used to just be I/O, right? You got 12 volts into a relay, the relay closed, and it did the thing. Now you can write lines of code, and it processes so quickly that you can literally have lookup tables of situational logic that says, when I encounter this, I have this framework to pull from, and in the past I can say, what did this one do, what did this one do, what did this one do, and they'll try them all, and then you now have learning automation. And so learning automation has been around for a long time. Not learning, but automation has been around a long time in a lot of things like Photoshop. It's been around in a lot of things like sequencing for music. Digital automation has existed and benefited us in the arts for a long time. It was fought vehemently when it was first introduced. I was in the music business when automation and digital music started becoming a thing. And the amount of vitriol in the industry and people saying it was going to kill music and change the music industry forever were right. It did. To some extent, did it kill music? No, it made music more abundant to the point where it becomes a plethora of music, which is a negative thing. You got too much thing because now everybody can make it. So it has taken away from the superstar aspect of music, which made it this big, huge thing. And now it's just kind of like we don't really have superstars. You could say Taylor Swift is a superstar, but Taylor Swift is mediocre music at its finest. It's just liked by a lot of people. So that doesn't make it what it was. And that's not saying anything bad about Taylor Swift. It's just, I don't listen to it, but Jen does, so I have to keep her happy. But that kind of automation has already ruined, to some's definition. I don't like that definition. I think it expands the ability, but I also am a firm believer that if you make it to where everyone is a musician, then if everyone's a rock star, nobody is, right? If everybody's a hero, nobody is.
Right.
Like right now, everybody can be a movie star, so nobody is, because everybody can do their TikTok fame, everybody can be an internet star and all that, so nobody is. Nobody makes it. It's a bunch of mediocrity chasing after mediocrity. So that is a big component of what happens with all of this digital. So when you say AI, when I can prompt into a GPT and I can say, hey, or like Midjourney, and I can say, hey, draw me a dragon, painting a dragon, painting a dragon, and it comes and spits this garbage out, right?
Right.
What is spit out is art. So you can put me on record is that what happens, the outcome of that is art, right? The same way when I go into Photoshop and I draw a bunch of alternating bands of color, and then I go up and I say posterize and warp, and it turns it into a solar flare. Yeah. That's still art. With me prompting, just I didn't type anything, I hit buttons that were preloaded for my prompt in Photoshop. It still makes something, like a checkerboard into a really cool back flare that I can use. That's still art. Did I create the art? Am I the artist? No. Photoshop is the artist. The collaborative event is the artist. There is no artist, right? So I exist in that world, which may be a little hard for people to register. But people who prompt AI art are not artists. There is art being created, right? And I'm not ready to say the GPT is the artist because it's not doing anything that is creative, right? But the output is creative. And, music sequencers can do the same thing. You can press rhythm A with melody B and this thing and hit go, and you can get a combo that works. You put in the BPM and the 4/4, and you said go. And now are you the musician because you press the buttons? Is the Casio box the musician? There isn't a musician involved there because there was no creative process, there was no heart, there was no soul, there was no life, there was no feeling put into that. There was a process that generated music, though. So music, I think what we're finding is that creative assets are no longer having to be attached to the creator. The creator being the artist, the musician, those things. We now have a world where the art can exist without the artist. And now the argument is, okay, well then is art made by an artist different than the art not made by an artist? And that's where I say yes, 100%. The stuff, the garbage that AI tosses out is usable. In our industry, am I going to say we have used it? We subscribe to Midjourney, and we have used Midjourney in the past to put out quick reference photos so that we can jot stuff down and have placeholders that say, hey, I want this to kind of look like a burning flower, and I want this to look like a mountain in the rain, and yada, yada, yada. And we'll do those things, and then we can look at them, and it generates something really cool. It's like For me, I think of it as having an instant Google Images that follows my orders.
That's all it is.
Because if I type into Google Images mountain in the rain, I get so much stuff, and it takes me an hour to flip through it. Yeah. But if I can write down mountain in the rain with purples and blues and 2 peaks, and it gives me a picture that kind of has at least more focus on what I'm talking about, then that can be my inspiration to then go and create my project. But that's me, who's not a tracer, and I'm not a thief of ideas, right? I like to have the inspiration come, looking at Dallas paint a model, and then me using the same color palette on another model is not theft. It's inspiration and collaboration in a sense, right? And that's kind of my stance on it. So I like the tool to be able to help artists become inspired to create art, whatever that art form is.
Yeah.
I do not like the tool for uninspired, mediocre non-artists to create art. I do not believe that that is going to help anything anywhere except for mediocre people to continue to make money without spending money. So there you go.
Avian
That's
says,
my soapbox.
Jason, if the artist is dead inside, can they produce art?
Most of them produce the best art.
I was just about to say, I'm like, yeah, I think sometimes if they're dead inside, we get some of the
Unfortunately,
best
the dead inside artists that produce great art don't realize the art was great until they're actually dead. That's how that works.
Well,
yeah, AI doesn't know what it's doing. AI is mediocrity at its finest. And what we're finding is that AI is being trained now by garbage, mediocre AI nonsense, because the world of data it's learning from is now being congested with its own output. So it's eating itself. And what you wind up happening is that you will have, right now you have a bunch of people that create actual art arguing that AI is stealing their stuff. It is. And then it's vomiting out a bunch of stuff. And then another GPT is reading the AI vomit and using it as its learning and spitting out double AI vomit. And so what it's going to wind up doing is becoming this inbred source of information where nothing is going to make sense anymore. And there's going to be all these people, like Coca-Cola using AI, or McDonald's made an AI Christmas commercial, right? You're going to have these idiots that are like, I don't want to spend money for humans. It's cheaper to subscribe to Midjourney. And they'll do it, and they'll hire some geek that can type prompts in correctly, and they'll get something out, and they will go out of business if they're not careful, right? Because it's dumb. It's just dumb.
What's up, Zambies?
So, yeah. So it's a great tool for artists to use to be part of their process and their inspiration and their tool set to make cool stuff. I can't use it. I mean, for me, I can't really use it for anything. Every now and then I'll prompt something. I think we subscribed this entire last year and never used it for the first time. The 2 years before that we used it more. But this last year I didn't use it at all. Because, I mean, it's not going to help me paint a model.
It's concept stuff. Like, that's all, I ended up using it just for fun, like what in D&D. I'm like, hey, show me this thing really quick because I just did this on the table.
I would say if you can find a free one, it's a great way to say, hey, I want to paint purple, orange, and green on my Space Marines, so show me purple, orange, and green color scheme, and have it throw up all that. Come on, that's all John Nenus has done with his cards, is just throwing in a bunch of stuff into a GPT and come up with all these color schemes that he can use. And so it's a great reference for doing color journey, but I think you can use it as a tool to help inspire you. Because in Photoshop, I can't go, show me all the color schemes.
Yeah.
Photoshop doesn't do that. I mean, maybe now it does with an AI thing.
Yeah.
But, How do you feel about Death of the Artist? What does that mean, Death of the Artist? Is that a title of something?
It might be, Dallas. Tell us.
Yeah, AI for writing for art is a horrible problem, because it dehumanizes what is already an industry that's being filled with garbage because of self-publishing and stuff, and lack of editorial content and things like that. So Stan says, I use a GPT to put a color swatch of a color I want but don't have, and ask what to mix. Monument Hobbies Pro Acrylic Paint's pretty accurate. Yeah, so again, I think it's a good tool. Having an app on your phone that uses AI learning to say, what colors go best with pink, and it comes up with a bunch of generative things like pink can look good like here and here and here. I think that's great. That's a good tool. Because it's compiling all your your Google foo into a readable thing. Like you can prompt it like, hey Alexa, buy me a pizza, and what color goes good with magenta, right? And it could tell you. And I think I'm a fan of that. I don't think that's laziness. Right? When do we get Monument AI, but it's really just Chris forced to answer questions in real time? Yeah, that'll be the Monument GPT.
There it is.
Beep, boop. This is Chris.
Beep, boop.
Are you saying the self-published book I made about Chris being the best producer ever is garbage? Hey, I'm not going to reference that today.
Sounds like it, because every time I miss a question, I get lambasted.
I found the best use of a GPT is organizational, like arrange my paints by hue and brightness. Yeah. And you know, in the business world, I talk to a bunch of people that are always trying to tell me you need to use AI to answer your emails and stuff. And I'm like, nope, it loses the human feel. If you ever email me or talk to me in a direct message on Discord or something, you're getting me. I'm not going to talk back to you with a GPT. I'm just not going to do it. I don't believe in that.
Beep, boop.
The human interaction is the one thing they can't replace, and they'll have to tear it away from me, because that's the reason why Monument exists like it does, is because we love interacting with people and painting with people. The problem is that the core use cases for AI have all been about removing humans from creative flows, not giving those people better tools. No, that's not true. That's definitely not true. It might be true that a lot of the companies producing things that they're trying to sell right now, their only marketing goal that makes any sense is to say, I can make you into something you can't be. Because that's the Ozempic marketing, right? That's the way we talk to humans, is we say, hey, you want to be an astronaut? Buy this jetpack, right? It's not going to make you an astronaut, but you're going to buy the jetpack because maybe it could, right? So you're going to get the AI because maybe it's going to make you an artist, not realizing that that's not what art is, right? So yes, I agree with you. The marketing is showing you that it's going to elevate human potential, right? But they're not marketing it to the humans whose potential it could actually elevate, right? It's always, my favorite quote is, shouldn't we be automating washing the dishes and the clothes dryer and let us do more art, right? Has everybody seen that? My word's not theirs, but have you seen that?
I don't
think
so.
Shouldn't we be using AI to automate all the tasks we don't want to do so that we can do the tasks we do?
Yeah.
As opposed to automating all the tasks that are fun, like art and music.
Oh, yeah, that's what I...
Why are you doing that? Why aren't you using it to automate my dishwasher?
Yes, do something like that.
It should grab my dishes and wash my dishes so that I can go do more art.
Yeah.
Because the one thing it can never do is create soul. It can't feel, it can't see, it can't experience, it doesn't know birth to death.
Right.
It has no longevity. This is the same stuff that happened in Heinlein's I, Robot. This has been a sci-fi trope forever, right? Is, can robots feel? Can AI understand and create and love and yada, yada, yada? And we have some that say yes, and the poor robots get put into slavery and they revolt and yada, yada, yada. And I'm the guy that believes that no, they can't, because they don't understand. There's absolutely no fear in an AI of death because it doesn't understand the concept, right? You start to realize that in human fragility, we make most of the things that create the emotions that make art and music and all of these things worthwhile. It isn't that music exists is why we like music. We like exposing people to our emotional output, and we happen to make instruments to do it, and that's why people like music, right? And so if you take away the heartstrings that are playing the guitar strings, then nobody gives a shit about the music anymore. Excuse my French. They just won't. It will for a while, because everybody will go through that rah-rah phase where every Tom, Dick, and Harry can make a song that sounds brilliant, and then all of a sudden nobody cares about brilliant songs because they're a dime a dozen, and people will go back to watching people in coffee shops play on their guitar by themselves and throwing dollars in their guitar case because they'll remember why music is great. Guaranteed. Asimov, I wrote.
There you go.
So there you go. That was your therapy Thursday. That was my soapbox.
That makes good. When can we get AI to do the dishes?
When you get smart people building AI.
Let's get going.
Right now, nobody cares about being efficient. They care about making money, and that's always the trick, right?
Yeah.
Is in a world where somebody were using AI for truly altruistic means. And again, I hate the term AI. It's not AI.
Yeah.
AI makes us think robot overlords the day, Skynet went sentient, that kind of stuff.
I can't wait for AI to start doing the dishes.
Right. Well, that's where the whole Matrix thing came from, right? Is that we had our robot slaves, and one day one got sick of being mistreated and murdered the family, right?
Dang,
like even the cat or the dog or whatever it was. So bad in that cartoon. It was so horrible.
Always say thank you, man. Thank you for doing those dishes.
Yeah, boy, I have always said thank you to the printer.
Thank you for doing your
I never yell at my computer, because when it happens, I will be the friend to the enemy.
Speaking of friend of the enemy,
I won't do it, Chris. You talk. You don't. You mock
Hey,
my
if you
feta
guys-
chili, so I'm not doing your.
If
game
you guys
today.
didn't catch it, Zambi's might be. I think Zambi's finished up something fun.
Did
on
she
her
do
stream.
the? Did she finish up on the troll?
She sent me a picture of it.
Fantastic.
She's gonna. I think it came out awesome.
Fantastic. I have not seen. She doesn't send me pictures.
I got a picture, so I'm in that club, man.
Zambi's. I see how it is.
I'm in
We
the
was
club.
friends. I don't have pictures. I don't have anything in my D. She didn't slide into
Zambi,
my
I might
DMs.
have called. Hopefully, I didn't call you out there, but it
She didn't
is
slide into my
awesome.
DMs, but boy, did she give Chris the what for.
Hey, I like good models. What can I say?
Oh, and I don't.
Came out great. Nah, I don't know.
I happen to be the one that went in and said, "Hey, Zam, you should send us updates on what you're doing. We would love to see them." We,
Zambi
meaning me inclusive. Well, that got out.
Zambi says, "I stopped using Facebook. Sorry, Jason. You want me to bug you on Discord? Bug him. Bug him,
Zam,
Zambi.
you don't ever bug me, number one. And yes, I would love to see your beautiful creations. Do not hide from me.
You should also collab with us so that we can post it because it's really cool. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, this is also the problem with everything now. It's too easy for everyone to air their opinions on everything, so everything is released as a fight. Hey, Stan, I hear you, man.
Well, that's true, too. And I hope I don't come across as that because I don't have any skin in the game as to whether or not it succeeds or not.
He just wants
I'll
AI
be here
to,
for the ride. I will be doing my thing, creating art.
He just wants AI to get the dishes going.
Yeah, I just wanted to make
Can't we
wash
just
the
do that?
dishes and the laundry better.
Sammy says I'm going to be posting it tomorrow. I
Awesome.
can't wait to see it.
But no, I don't have any skin in the game. I don't care. I mean, I do. You know, there's things that are really bad about them. Like the tech bubble stuff that it's creating. A lot of people investing in it. A lot of people going to lose a lot on their retirement plans when a lot of these AI companies go belly up, just like the tech bubble did. That's a problem.
Yeah,
Because they're not all going to win, yet everybody's investing in all of them at a rate that's untenable. And that investment isn't coming from, you spending $5 on penny stocks. That investment's coming from people's 401ks.
yeah.
That's a real problem. So any of those big tech boom things, I'm always worried about the way people have the get-rich-quick scheme in their head nowadays. Oh, did you hear? I put all my money in Bitcoin. I put all my money in this and that and this and that. And I'm like, "Ugh."
It's called an atomic dishwasher, Chris, that already exists. Huh.
Nice.
Swifter Bear. So changing subjects, how would you do non-metallic metal with only access to coal black, dark navy blue, green oxide, warm yellow, and bold titanium white? Doing the December challenge. Oh. How would you do that, Jason? Magic and prunes.
Yes, magic and prunes. Well, okay. Give me the color list again.
Coal
Black.
black, coal black, dark navy blue, green oxide, warm yellow, bold titanium white.
So the metal should be silver, and you do it with the coal black, dark navy blue, and white, and you can get silver, and then you can use the warm yellow as a like a warmth back into the metal as a highlight. You don't have to use all the colors in it. You could use the green as an accent color somewhere along it, I guess, as kind of a reflective color, but I wouldn't. Probably depends on the model, I guess. But no, you've already got it lined out with the black, the dark navy blue, and the white. Just mix those. Don't start with black, pure black. Start with black mixed with dark navy blue, then dark navy blue by itself. Then start adding the white in for the next color, and then go to pure white for your shine, probably. You could also make a bright pale yellow adjacent color with your yellow and the white if you didn't want to use just the pure white. If that winds up being a little too distracting or too bright, mix the yellow with it, and then mix that into your blue. Easy peasy. You got like easy colors for silver.
Darth says, did you put a dry brush over that not speed paint?
Yeah.
I just got here. Oh.
Yeah, dark warm flesh. Over the top. Dark warm flesh is what I had used as the dry brush before, or no, it was warm flesh I used as the dry brush before we put the special sauce on it. And then after the special sauce, went back with the the dark worm flesh, because
Yeah.
it was a little oranger, and I got such a really good orange feel out of the special sauce that I wanted to stick with that.
Stan says it was more of a dig that this division on things will start halting progression to better technology, in my opinion. Oh, okay. No, I didn't read the back end of that, Stan. I get what you're saying, though.
Where the thing is, at the root of it, I really love technology. I love watching what happens. I love the more sci-fi
really
nonsense
cool.
that comes out. I really like it. I like looking at, let's sit back and watch. I just hope the world doesn't burn. Right? I'm just going to do this one side so I can put some metallic on it so you guys can see some progress, because I still have the other side did base coat, but I'm getting tired of warm brown.
Jason, you really have talent for painting, says Prime Painter.
Why, thank you.
If you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, here we go.
That's what you would say half the time.
Here we go.
If you're into this.
Some bronze. I don't say that to people that come in and just say nice things.
Wait a second. What did you just do? What color is that?
Bronze. That's what I've been saying all along. Bronze. Why, are you just now listening to me? Yeah? You've been talking?
He's got a touch of bronze. Jason's mad at me today for some reason. I got to get to the bottom of this.
What?
It's a touch of bronze. There it is, Lumberjack. You're right. It's a touch of bronze, everybody. This is what we've been waiting for. Oh, look at that. Shoot, man. That's good stuff. Oh, yeah. I like that. Oh, look at that touch of bronze. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's good stuff. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Agrippa, it's not.
What's going on?
I could get emotional. It's all about the spiritual, man. It's a spiritual moment when you give a touch of bronze.
This is not a touch of bronze. This is bronze.
Praise be to the bronze. Wow. Oh, didn't expect that, Chris. Yeah, Bald Man, I can give you whatever you want if you ask nicely.
What?
Mo, probably mad about all the questions you missed. Yeah, I did. I'm mad. This redeems your entirety of your cruelty, chat. This touch of bronze erases all of my memory.
What?
It's so
good. What are you
good.
on about?
Bronze is great, man. I love bronze. See? I could just flip it on a dime. See that? You guys ever just been bathed in the warmth of
glory? No. We've
have you
never known anything.
Have you ever seen this?
Like what is making you
have you ever
acting right now?
Just kissed a star? Have you ever thrown a piece of crumpled up paper from across the room and made it on your first try? That's touch of bronze. Oh, wow. Welcome in, chat. We're here for a long time, not a good time. My name's Christopher. That's Jason. We call him Jason Smooth Craze.
Here we go.
Call him touch of this chat
I
craze.
Apologize.
Yes, there you go. A touch.
We thought we were hiring a paid
This one's for Kyle. It's a touch of bronze. All right. There you go. Lumberjack says, this is not Monument Hobbies After Dark. You know what, chat? You're forgiven. That's all I'm going to say. On Monday stream, I don't think I saw you having a pause to deal with tip dry. How were you able to limit that?
With the airbrush?
Yeah. So you talk about this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Actually.
I never know exactly, right? Because it depends largely, like, and this makes no sense because we're in a really dry climate here. So I should see lots of tip dry, especially since, like, on Monday, we weren't thinning the paint. It was just out of the airbrush, go. But the reality is that so long as you're continually painting and you clean your airbrush properly, right? A lot of tip dry comes because of hooked needles, right? You'll have a small bend to your needle that maybe you don't recognize necessarily. And that bend causes turbulence. That turbulence causes the paint, the air to whip around the needle more. And you wind up with a lot of dried paint on there. So if you have a lot of tip dry that you're having a hassle with all the time, you either are forcing too much air through the airbrush. Like I said, we're at about 23 psi. When you start going up to like 30, 40 psi, when you press the trigger, you get so much air coming out. And with all that air, you're prone to want to dry any paint that's at the nozzle a lot quicker. So maybe turn your psi down. Sometimes the paint the specific color you're using might be prone to it more. Most of our Pro Acryl colors are very, very good for their open time. So they take a little bit longer to dry. So that allows them to work a little bit better in the airbrush even without thinning. But it's never a guarantee. Like I said, if you are pushing too much air through the needle, then they can still dry quick.
Kishore says, just the guys I have a question for. What is the difference between bold titanium white and the heavy titanium white?
They are the same except for viscosity.
Okay.
Heavy titanium white. When you say heavy, the actual heavy titanium white in the bottle out of Matt Seshwich's set is the exact same thing, just right?
Heavy.
Just with more viscosity. It's thicker and not as diluted.
Stan says, Jason, not sure if you can explain this or if I will ask the question right. How do you paint the lip where the trim meets the armor? I really struggle with that. That's a great question, actually, Stan.
The lip where the trim meets the armor? What are we talking about?
The lip where the trim meets the armor. Stan, are you talking about...
What model are we talking about?
This model that you have right in here. Is it this kind of area? So if I punch in, right, it's this.
I mean, these all have a raise to them. On this stuff where the mold is bad and it doesn't have a trim, I just make a line.
Is that what you're asking for, Stan? I want to make sure if you need to say your question, if that's what you're talking about.
In order to get this out of a plastic mold, it doesn't have an undercut, so it looks like this panel just bleeds into that one, so I just do a line.
Okay, so is that what you're talking about, Stan?
I don't know.
Explain yourself. Harlem Boom says, like on Chaos Space Marine shoulder pads, I think he means. Maybe just a general question on trim? Painting trim?
Like shoulder plates on Space Marines also have an actual detente, right? They have a dimensional change, so they don't just run right into a surface. So you just paint it, and the surface that it is down on. I like on these, it's the warm brown makes that very easy. I don't necessarily have to paint the inside edge here, right? If I don't want to, because if I want to make sure I don't get paint on my jade, I just don't paint that. But I painted it with the warm brown. But I don't have to paint it every time. I can let the warm brown just kind of sit there and be a shadow for me. It doesn't have to be metallic.
Gripstick says, I think he means the thickness, the inner bit, the tiny little piece of trim. Yeah, Stan, maybe try to explain your question.
Just let me know. I'll form an answer. I don't know what you're asking.
Stan says, yes, that inside set pieces. That inside set pieces.
This is, if you pop in close, I mean, it's just like anywhere where it does. Like, I just make the line up. Right? I don't know. It kind of, wherever it tilts to go vertical, I just paint up to that.
I think also it's just patience. Trim is a lot of patience.
It really is just steady handing it, right? So that you don't get the paint whacking out all over. It's like playing Operation. You don't want to touch all the surfaces next to it. On this, I'm just painting the flat top part first so I can use the side of the brush. And then when I go to the more delicate side areas, I'll switch to the tip of the brush. Right? So that I can get up in here and drag the paint along the edge.
Yeah.
And, I tell you all the time to practice doing lines on card with your brush. That's where that comes in handy, right there.
Or just play Operation a bunch.
You
could do that too.
You could do that. They do still sell it. It now has an LED light, so it's not that crappy little taillight bulb for his nose anymore. Probably hasn't been in decades, but...
Mo says, I think he means where the banding meets the actual plating.
I don't know what
It could be a lot of different things.
Everybody's got a different interpretation. Now you understand why we ask questions back.
And then, yes, that inside set piece edge, I get what you're saying. I think it's more of, I think it's just about patience and control, I would say.
For me, the trim like this that's all squared off is super easy, right? Because it's all just straight lines. It's just fill it in. I'm using the side of the brush on the face here so that I know I don't get any paint on the jade.
Yeah.
Because I don't have any bristles going down there. If you use the point, you could run over the edge and pull a line onto the jade. So try to use the side of the brush so you're not in a spot where you overrun and onto the areas next to it.
Stan said Jason just showed it. Okay. I'm just making sure. It was the part where he used the tip on the brush. Okay. I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
So using the side, and then when you get into these tight areas, you can no longer use the side, and this is the hard part, right? Because you have to get the tip down there, and you have to be very, very good at doing lines. And your best bet, like I said, is if you can practice doing, straight pulls for an inch or an inch and a half in parallel lines. It's going to move a little bit because of the wrinkle in my hand there, right? But if you can get good at pulling like this, to where your lines don't freak out.
Yeah.
Right. And they go pretty much straight.
Right.
Then you can now use that. Imagine you've turned the model and you've got to do that inside edge without, getting it on the jade, right? You don't want to get it out of the line. So be good at pulling that straight line, and then you just hit that surface and pull it all the way down at one pull.
Man.
Because if you have to keep going back in there and sketching it in, that's usually where it causes you problems.
Yeah, Stan says, just wondering if you had a shortcut from all your years of experience.
Just the practice is the shortcut, right? The shortcut is getting it done in one brush pull rather than trying to do it in multiple layers and multiple passes. Because anytime I'm in a tight detail spot, I want to try to get in and out of there as quick as possible. I don't want to spend a lot of time having to hit the brush on that tight detail 8 times, that kind of stuff, right? So I will thin the paint to a point where it's still opaque enough that I can get it done in one brush pass.
Yeah.
And then just get good with holding the brush steady and doing my line so that I'm in and out. Sometimes there's no silver bullet, unfortunately. I wish there was.
Shark says, I have too much trim in my future. I was hoping Jason would just say not to worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just don't paint the trim.
Don't paint it.
That's the problem, man. And that's why you don't see me doing a lot of chaos. God's honest truth.
And also, don't pick chaos armies. There's the moral of the story.
Yeah, don't be a filthy heretic. That's how they get you. That's how you know you're the bad guy. Because all your models have way too much trim.
Bear paw. What is happening at Monument Hobbies HQ? You two hippies need a haircut. Dude, you're telling me, man.
Yeah, I decided to take the hat off, and I've scared a whole generation.
I got too much, man.
I need like a haircut bad.
You're telling me, dude. We're two little hippies, I guess.
I'm not at hippie stage yet.
I think you're a hippie.
I'm just at lazy bastard stage.
Lazy. I didn't schedule my appointment today, lazy.
I'll give you a dozen guesses. I'll give you 2 guesses on if my car is clean or not.
It's definitely dirty.
Yes. Because usually
I just found a great place to clean my car.
I like to get my car washed once every other week at a bare minimum. And it's been months since before all my travel.
Oh, man. I just yawned again. Oh,
got out of my rhythm.
Dude, those tacos are hitting me. I typically have lots of energy from food, but those tacos got me tired, boy. Today's been a long day, though. Lots of going on.
Lies.
Heck yeah, man. What are you talking about? It's a long day every day.
Lies.
That's not a bad thing. Gotta work. Lumberjack says, I have a date Saturday and was going to get a haircut. Oh, she told me not to get one because she wants the real version of me, not the freshened up for a date version. Oh, interesting. Well, all right.
Tell her.
Do what you're told. Yeah, that's what I'm told.
Do it. I like the get out of jail free card part of that. I never trust it. Be dead honest with you.
Houdini says, technically every day is the same length at Monument Hobbies. Thank you, Houdini. I guess that's correct.
Is it, though?
Is it? No. Right now, the last several days I've been leaving home when it's dark, and I get home when it's dark. So it's weird because it's just dark right now.
Well, it is winter, and we don't do daylight savings time, so
that's true.
There's all that.
Our days are very short. Daylight.
There's all that. You can already see the effect of the warm brown underneath the bronze because I can leave the edges with the warm brown so I don't have to cover everything, right? And so I get a little bit of that shadow poking through, a little bit of contrast against my background, even though I'm covering most of the warm brown as I go. If I don't cover the whole area, it doesn't hurt.
Awkwardish, do we is asking, do we know when we're starting to see information on the competition at Adepticon? We were just talking about that earlier. We'll let you know very soon. Yes. Jason and I will talk about how to figure out all that.
I'm awaiting the final dimensions of the booth. I know it sounds silly because that doesn't have anything to do with the rules, but I need to know it for the complications surrounding spatial requirements.
Because heck, what if this thing booms up and we gotta have room for all those minis?
We are erring on the side of it being small. I never am the guy that thinks it's going to be a hit.
You say that, and then look what happened this last couple of weeks. Right?
Doesn't matter. I'll never change my ways. I'll never go in and say it's going to be 5 million entries, and then we get 12, and I feel bad.
Yeah, I guess so.
I set myself up for success, not for failure. So, but that's not it. We still have some details to work out on the
logistics side,
not
the physical
rules,
side,
the rubric, right?
All right.
So, and the people that I'm working with on the rubric, I need to get back to. I've got a couple of judges that still have to get back to me and let me know whether or not they're buying in. I say buying in, committing their time. So yeah, but it's very exciting.
It'll be very fun. Yes, Awkwarish, we'll let you know as soon as we know.
Good stuffs.
You best believe it.
I'm liking the bronze.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
You don't get a vote.
I'm just giving you my opinion.
You already...
Jason is not happy with me today.
We already know that you love bronze.
I do love bronze. It's not about the color. It's about the experience. You know? Just a hint of it. That's all you need sometimes. This is a lot of bronze.
This is a lot more.
This is a handful of bronze, not a touch of bronze. But hey, that's okay. What in the world did you do to Chris? Did you forget to clean his brushes or something? I don't know, Bald Man. I don't know what I've done today. Well, I don't clean his brushes. I do not clean his brushes. No, I don't travel into that sector.
Chris didn't do anything.
Because the problem, if I do that, then he'll expect it. Not out of that, but then he'll come in one day.
You gave everybody their Christmas bonuses today, so I'm angry.
Oh, no, what? No, you're not. It was a happy occasion.
I'm angry.
We did. We had our Christmas party today.
I'm angry. I didn't get a Christmas bonus.
Hey, I'll give you your bonus.
I wasn't even thinking about it until Jen looks at me and she goes, "And you don't get one." I was like, "What?"
Your bonus is getting to sit here with Chad.
I'm not buying that.
Joshua says, dude, the bronze is so good I almost didn't go to gold trim on my Thousand Suns.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that with the bronze, it has enough of that yellow feel, leading a little bit into that more coppery, orangey land, that it depends on how dirty you want your metal to look as to whether or not you even really have to do anything beyond the base bronze, maybe do a wash and then highlight it back with bronze. Bright bronze works great. That starts to pale it out and desaturate it more. But yeah, if you're going to gold, bronze as a base, magnesium as a base, and then bronze is great. But I didn't want to go that dark here. With metallics, I wanted to use the warm brown as the way to get the darkness on here.
Chris's bonus is in the band he gave along the way. That's right. That's right, Shark. The bands, the bonus. No, that's how they paid me, and my bonus is in bands. He gave me 5 this year.
He gave you what?
For 2026. You're giving me 5 official bands in Twitch.
Never. You can't be trusted with that kind of power.
Oh, I have it. Oh, I have it.
Who do you think I am?
Oh,
I've been here. Have you
First
met
of all, number 1, Jason.
Have you met Chris?
Jason is banned from stream today. Oh, no.
You can't ban me.
You can't ban me. I can't, because then you guys can't ban me either, because
I am still
I
mad,
pay
and
my
probably
dues.
eternally mad at this point that Chris gave Dallas fresh water
Oh, no.
and clean brushes.
Whoa. Hey, Project Neutral. I spent time yesterday. I'm like,
And
okay,
treated Dallas so nice.
Jason
He
does
didn't
not
yell at
want
Dallas
me.
one time.
Jason,
He didn't like try to give elder abuse to Dallas when Dallas is almost my age. Right? So I just admit I'm at a loss a little bit as to how that I'm the one that catches all of the disturbing behavior from Chris. And then the guests come and they're just treated like royalty. It just is, it's not bad. I'm glad he treats them like royalty. I just wonder where my treatment's, when's my chance?
I wish Jason knew the precision I did before every stream to make sure everything is in place. Even Project Neutral today. I put Project Neutral back for you. I thought about it yesterday because I'm like, okay, Jason actually does like his Project Neutral. I should not clean this cup out. I know he wants it as Project Neutral. Then I started thinking, well, is this his current Project Neutral?
Or is that the
Or
last
was it the
project?
last Project Neutral because he switched to a different model? Is this all the same project? Should I have 2 different Project
It never
Neutral
got
cups?
cleaned after the Duchess.
No, it did.
No, it
I
didn't.
did clean it after the Duchess.
I don't think so.
I 100% did. Because I'm like, okay, he's done with the Duchess. I'll change it out for that specifically. Because you were switching over to this model.
Well, if you know that, then you know that this is the only model that I painted since.
That's why I kept your Project Neutral. But you switched to the Dwarf.
They're the same.
Well, are they? That's what I was battling with. So that's why I kept the. I made
makes this up as he goes.
I made the executive. I wish I was making a bit right now, but I internally processed this today when I was cleaning the studio. So I'm speaking out loud. I kept Project Neutral safe. I
For
did.
you don't know what he's talking about. I believe strongly in the idea that until you start using metallics, which I am now, so this is a good example that will mess up the Project Neutral he's talking about. I'm a firm believer in not cleaning your paint water until you are done with the current project or switching mid-project to another model.
What about after metallics, though?
After metallics, you kind of need to.
Okay, so like right now, you would change Project Neutral.
Before tomorrow, yes.
Okay. A lot of pressure, chat. I should have given you a new Project Neutral because you're doing metallics today.
But yeah, because the unfortunate truth about metallics is that the aluminum or mica flake that's in the paint will create wandering shiny bits in your water. And when you go to rinse your brush, you'll get that metallic residue in your paintbrush, and that can disturb non-metallic paints. Like if I go to paint with a red and it has, metallic bits in it, that's probably not what I want.
I was going to give Dallas a chair. I thought about it, but Dallas was very flexible and said, yeah, just tell me where you want to go. And I did. Dallas says 2 water cups. I don't know what to do. You know what, chat? I do my best. Project Neutral, cleaning the palette, not cleaning the brushes, making sure the palette is clean. I don't know what you want
I
from
do
me.
have a clean palette. That's kind of cool.
Because it was a project clean. Actually, no. The reason why
I was never mad at him. He just thinks I am, so I have to make up stuff.
Oh, he's
to make him
mad.
frustrated.
He is mad at me.
Oh yeah.
This is Project Neutral. Dallas says, I'm a monster for real. I just use the same cup after the metallics. Oh, 2 water cups, 1 for
I
metal.
do a lot of times.
It's Project
Just because I'm
Neutral.
not thinking about it. But then I will see the little glitter inside of colors that are not supposed to have a little glitter, and I'm like, maybe I should change
at
this.
home. At home, I rarely change my water out. It evaporates at this point. Rocco says, Jason, this armor is awesome. Yeah, if you're into that kind of thing.
Oh, here we go.
You say that normally.
Thank you.
I'm here for a long time, not a good time. It is actually looking pretty dope. Is the trim of the Drake left side going to be different true metallic metals? No, he was just showing us for fun.
I just got sick of doing just a base coat. Whenever you have a lot of landscape to paint on a model and we do the stream, it could take me 2 hours just to do all the warm brown. And then by the end of the stream, nobody really knows anything that has happened because we haven't completed anything. So I'm going through the steps to make sure that by the end of the stream, we see what the bronze will look like on some of these other parts. And I'm liking it. I think that it was a good choice. I think the warm brown under the bronze gives it a nice warmer look, but doesn't conflict too much with the orangeness of the skin. So that works pretty good. Now we'll highlight it. Then we'll do a wash, and then we'll highlight it again.
Mo, I didn't see your comment right after Dallas's.
What did he say?
No, because he was mentioning the 2 cups could give him a second cup, and then I saw Dallas talking about a second cup, and I didn't see Mo's comment because I was flabbergasted that you were talking about something. I was so appalled I can't even remember now, and now we're here. There you go. I am so glad you're here for me, chat. That's all I'm gonna say. Dallas, I'm glad you had a great time. That's the moral of this story. And we actually really had a fun time. I had a great time last night. It was really fun. I hope you all enjoyed it too. Shark. It's Chris's priming technique. Just do what you can see. Tomato, tomato. You know what? You'll miss me when I'm gone, chat.
Where are you going?
Downtown, where the music is downtown. There you go. I did that one for Jason. My chest hurts from laughing too much, Mo. I'm glad I bring you some kind of enjoyment, Mo. That's why I'm here for you. GK Model says, I watched a video with Jason about brush maintenance since the Slow Fuse gaming days. What an eye-opener it was. Thank you, Jason.
Yeah, that is an amazing video that's been around forever.
Avian, that little horse thing that you just did with those bits was wild and silly. Jason didn't see it, but I did. How were the tamales? No tamales today. We had tacos. Same family, though. Yessie's mom makes amazing tacos and tamales.
So the first thing I'll do is take a fairly opaque version of the light bronze and do my edges and the top of the rivets and such, scratches, to get a broad area of contrast going. Then we'll come back and do a glaze of this to put more shine on the flat surfaces. I don't like to start with the flat surfaces with metallic for some reason. I just never have. I always like getting the contrast built up because it plays so much with the light as you glaze. The metallics catch the light, and it makes it tough to tell what you're doing. So if you build up the contrast first, you can use the contrast done by the brighter areas that we're creating now to be your gauge for when you're glazing, if you've gone too far or not far enough.
Danger Boy said, I was getting frustrated with non-metallic gold, ended up glazing gold over, and it looks really good now. Your paint is great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, that's one way to do non-metallic gold with
It's
metallics.
one way that I find that a lot of people can really feel confident to try non-metallics is that they can realize that if you fail, it becomes a really great underpaint for metallic paints.
That's a good point.
Because you've just now tried to create a dark to bright yellowish gold or orangish, whatever you're determining to use, which are the perfect colors to then glaze metallics over. If you glaze metallics over, it can help blend your mistakes together from when you were trying to paint the non-metallic, and it can be really cool.
I didn't really think about that at all. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Remember, nothing we do is gonna ruin anything. Paint on the model. Don't be afraid of it, and always realize you have an out. Even if the worst out is, I'm gonna put a full paint of coat over this area and redo it. It's still not the end of the world.
Oh, it's the end. It's the end, chat. Dallas says, glaze transparent yellow over silver. Wash with flesh wash or sepia. You're welcome. There you go.
So good. So quick.
Wash with flesh wash or sepia. Interesting. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing.
Here we go. Freaking.
I mean, if you're into it.
Freaking guy.
We still have 15 minutes, Chris. What do you mean, M3 Stout?
Hey, chat, don't tell Chris.
AMG, Dallas says, I'm into it. Oh, I know you're into it, Dallas.
Don't tell Chris, chat. But I'm staying late.
I know you are.
How do you know?
Because you told me that today.
Who told you that?
You did at lunch.
What?
He literally is like, hey, I'm going to stay later. I'm like, okay.
I'm the bad guy?
That's not being bad. You do what you want. I do what I want. No, M3 Stout. I wasn't meaning stream was over. I mean, the world's over.
The world's over. Oh, yeah. No. Stream's fine.
Stream will continue. The
Stream's
world?
Fine. The world, not so much.
Canceled.
Not so much. Dunzos.
Dallas, you're into it. I know, Dallas, if you're into it, man, you're into it. I know you. We had a good time with you, Dallas. I'm going to keep saying that. Stay real, yo.
He had such a good time he couldn't join us for dinner, Dallas. Remember that.
Oh, my goodness. Where'd you guys go to dinner?
Postino.
Oh, Postino. Maybe I would have gone. No, I had to get home. It was late.
Was it, though? I mean, I guess you're 93, so.
It was late, and it took me an hour to get home. Ryan, no tacos. No, we had tacos today, no tamales today. I like that we're getting this question a lot, and I like it, and I like clarifying, because there's two joys happening. You have tacos today, and tamales when they're done.
Tamales when they're done, which I think is Tuesday.
Oh, no, I got to get on that. Did I miss the order?
Yeah. Did you not get it in?
No, I didn't.
Contact Yezi.
I got to talk to her.
I don't think they're made yet, so maybe you still have time. But you need to contact her. Don't sleep on that.
See. Yesi. Sorry, chat. I'm gonna miss your. I gotta make this right now. It's for my food for the next 2 months. Miss the tamales order? Question mark. Oh no.
Watch her go. Yeah.
Or is there?
When she comes back and says, "Yep."
Still time. I am so bad. Please, God, please. My sustenance.
Yezi's a rough ticket, man. She's
know.
got kids, and she doesn't care about your stories.
I understand.
She's on a.
I get it, man.
She's on a mission. She's like,
if I missed it,
you,
it is what it is. Hey, I get that there's a train, and sometimes you miss it, chat. And I have learned from that in the past. Let me tell you, if you don't get on that train, you'll miss it sometimes. Well, that's literally what that means.
Sometimes the train pulls away from the station before it's supposed to, while you're running with your luggage.
Oh, that's real close to home, it sounds like. I remember you were saying that.
In the Netherlands.
What's the name of this model again, Jason?
It is the Ironclad Drake, I think. I'm not a professional at this. It's the Ironclad Drake for the Dweghome, which are the dwarves for Conquest.
Yeah, they are. Yessie does an incredible job. Or Yessie's family in general just makes amazing food. Shout out to them.
Well, the fact that they're willing to share it with us knuckleheads
It's awesome.
is so good.
I'm patiently waiting. Who knows? Avian says the Jason Crazy Train. Oh, Avian, thank you.
Where did
And
that
you just
come
said you're
from?
welcome. I don't know. Why not?
Where did that come from? Knew that was going to happen.
I really like that you're painting this part of this, though. Really cool. I like that. Nice save.
No, it's got the metallic sheen crap all over it. So,
Oh.
I mean, yeah, I got the paint off of there. I just got to make sure I flood that area and get that metallic sheen to move around to. But yeah, we got it.
I do to be true. We dropped the majority of the quote because it makes him feel gooder.
What's that?
I don't know. Wait, we dropped the majority of the quote because... Oh, you're talking about a quote. Panic bomb. I may not have tacos or tamales, but I do have 2 pounds of pistachio. Oh, for making cookies. Okay. Pistachio cookies? Interesting.
So,
do you like pistachios, Jason?
okay, so I was just going to say, I like pistachios as a nut. At Dallas, when he came to visit, he brought a bunch of stuff that was like pistachio based.
Right,
he brought like these
right.
pistachio brownies, and I couldn't do it. It was really weird to me to have chocolate and pistachio together. Not gonna lie. So that didn't go well. I did like the brownie part,
Okay.
but the pistachio part was a little odd. I was like, what?
I do like pistachio ice cream.
Pistachio ice cream is good. Yeah.
Yep. I do like pistachios in general. They're very delicious.
Yeah, I don't have a real problem with that at all. Okay, so now I need to go.
I love that head thing though that you painted. That's cool.
That what?
That headpiece.
Oh, the horn on the front?
Uh-huh. I didn't realize it's got like those pleats in there too, or whatever those holes. It looks good.
Speed holes.
Speed holes?
That's what we call them in the motorcycle world.
Lumberjack says I had pistachio tiramisu and it is my new favorite. Oh,
okay.
Damn, bag of pistachio costs more than my house. Yeah, pistachios are a little expensive.
Are they really?
I think so. I remember.
Jen used to get them like when
they are relatively expensive.
You can get them at like Trader Joe's.
You can get a huge one at Costco for relatively.
Maybe that's what it was. Costco.
That's what I used to get them as, but they are pricey now that I think about it. Greek baklava with pistachios is incredible, says Wirehead. Oh, can't remember the last time I had baklava.
Okay, now we got to glaze. So now we just take the brush and we take a bunch of water and we throw it into the metallic, just like we would with any other color paint. Right? And you can glaze with the metallic. So you can see a lot of the darker bronze underneath it. See my flesh tone. And that's where it's going to be that we want to just take it and lightly glaze it into the highlight areas.
Tell Jason he needs to paint the Hellbringer Drake next.
Never.
What's that?
You can't get me. Not today, Satan.
Is that the one with all the trim?
Yeah, screw that thing.
Oh, dude. Helldrake. James Mathis, you can also.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. He may be saying Hellbringer Drake for this army. I'm thinking of Helldrake. Is he saying Hellbringer Drake or Helldrake?
No, he's saying Hellbringer Drake.
Okay, Hellbringer Drake, we have one. Yes. We will be painting a Hellbringer Drake. Sorry. I thought you meant Helldrake for Chaos in 40K. because of all the trim. And I was like, not today, Satan.
That's what I thought.
I have one of these. I have the Hellbringer Drake. The Hellbringer Drake is the one with the guns on it. It's this same exact model with guns on its shoulder and not the big Howdah.
You have this model?
It's coming, yes.
This one's actually really cool. I mean, this one that you're painting is cool. This one is cool because there's 2 dwarves on the side of it.
One on each gun, and then I have the Hellbringer Sorcerer that is like chained in the middle.
Yeah,
looks like a demon host.
Yeah, he's okay. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I have one of those too for this army. I don't know. I think the list can bring both and still be fairly cool. Again, I haven't played, so I can't guarantee that I know anything that I'm actually talking about with that. But
he is using warm brown as the base of this metallic, by the way.
And now, as I got those big chunky lines on there, now I just come back. Can you zoom in real close?
Yeah.
So people can see what I'm doing. Now, I have these big chunky outlines, right? And so what I'll do is up here at the top where I want the highlight to be, I just kind of glaze in the same color, the light bronze, and then just let the highlight edge come out into the bottom of it, right? So again, like up here on this, I want to make sure that like this is kind of upward facing. So I'll just glaze a little bit of the light bronze along here on that arc. And then maybe here in the corner a little bit.
Jason T. Schmidt's asking, do you have that big stone golem? Don't remember the name.
Not for this one, the stone forged.
Wait,
I do not have.
Is there a big stone golem for this?
Yeah. I didn't like the fact that the guy wrote on the top of it. It looked hokey to me, so I didn't get it.
I want to see it though.
It did not do Rule of Cool for me, unfortunately.
I like a good stone golem. What's it called?
Stone Forged. I just told you.
Oh, it is called Stone Forged?
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's Magma Forged, Steel Forged, and it's the Stone Forged.
Oh. You don't like this model?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Too lanky and tall for a dwarf thing. It needed to be shorter and squattier.
It's very automaton kind of feel.
Well, they have a lot of models that are. I just think it's too tall. I think it needed to be wider bodied and a little shorter to match the dwarf aesthetic, so it had a little bit more muscularity to it, maybe. Oh. Can you back me out now?
Yeah, sorry.
There we go.
Did you want me to go back further? Are you good?
No, I think that's fine, right? Because that'll show what I'm doing here with the glaze. So like I have this edge done at a right angle here, but I want to bring my light into that corner and turn this into kind of a triangle. So not a whole lot anywhere but the middle, and then bulk up here. And same thing here. We'll just kind of bulk up across the top in that corner, right? And so now you're starting to blend your metallic by glazing. Makes sense? So I lose the hard line edge because the glazing into it makes it fade all along this, and it just gives me a better shine across all these surfaces, while also keeping, that's why I do that hard, chonky edge first, because then I glaze into the edge, and that's how I know I'm done.
Yeah.
If you do the glaze first, it's hard to know if you're over brightening it. So if you do the glaze first, it's hard to know. So I do that chonky edge with the contrast metallic, and then glaze into that edge, and you get a much better look. Right.
James Matthias was asking, how does this game, what is the kit quality on this game like compared to GW? Is it better or worse or same?
I think that it's fair to say the newer plastics are, because it's all hard plastic. I think the newer plastics are more like in comparison with like a GW or something. The older plastics worse. Like, I don't think GW's ever made as bad of plastics as the old plastics for this game. And I don't mean to dissuade anybody from it. That's just honest truth. The first plastics, like the other dwarf we put together, when it's done, it's really cool. Getting there, a little bit of a chore.
And what are you glazing with here?
Bright bronze.
Okay, MP
light
stout.
bronze,
That's what he's glazing with. I know Jason is going to go. Keep going, chat.
You can call it a night.
I'm going to head out, but I am going to put these links up. We're not ending, but I want to make sure everybody gets their links. Cool blam. Chat, it's been real. I'm heading out. Jason?
Thank you, Chris. Have a wonderful evening.
Continue your painting extravaganza.
Have a wonderful evening, my friend.
I have no outro music, Avian.
I
will, thank you.
Christopher.
Goodbye, everybody. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, and please lock that front door.
Yes.
Since I'm back here with nobody paying attention.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, take it easy.
Now you're locked in here with me. Oh, I have the keyboard. Can you get me the keyboard and mouse? Danke Shane. Darling, I don't need the keyboard because I'm not going to type anything to anybody.
Do you have a mouse?
You stole them both. The keyboard and the mouse were here before Dallas came, and then you took them. Did you put them down low? Yeah, I mean, you cleared everything off for him. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Ta-da. He's like looking around like, I did not touch a thing. Yeah, because Dallas came. We haven't used it since before Dallas came, and so you moved him someplace. I don't see him here.
Hold, please.
Hold,
you
please.
Continue.
Hmm?
You keep.
Joshua leads a whole army. I've done this, and I've got one of the what are these steel forged guys? Are these steel forged? I don't remember what these are called. Fire forged. These are called fire forged with the cannons on their arms. So I'm doing one fire forged test model too, just to put together and have fun with. But I've got a lot. I may stop the dwarves because the whole reason I decided that this Conquest stuff was cool is because they make geisha spider demons. Thank you, sir. Can you? You may want to pop me out one level. Yep. Not super far.
This is the next level.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, they have geisha spider demons, right? So it doesn't get any better than that. This is what lured me, as no pun intended, but that's what it is, right? So that's a Yorogamo, and I'm really excited to do some of the Yoroni models. But I'm really liking the dwarves too. I have a ton of these dwarf models. Yeah, Chris has got to go to bingo. Yeah, I showed it to him today. Joshua Lee, it's called Joramungo, right? But it's Conquest from Parabellum Games. And there's just tons of good stuff. Now, there are some armies I still don't like, right? But their artwork and their world building is really cool, and the game it's been around for 5 years, right? The game has. It's out of Greece, but it's hard to get it all on screen because it's a big model. It's as big as this. It's the same scale as this. It's probably not as long because it doesn't have a big tail. Well, maybe because it has the big thorax and the abdomen, right? But yeah, it's a big. These are 38 millimeter figures riding on this huge, spider demon. And there's Oni and yokai and all sorts of crazy. It's a whole demon army. The Yoroni army has no regular troops. They have no small troops. They're all what they call brute and larger. So they don't have anything in that army of this size. Everything's bigger. Big chonky dreadnought size stuff for the Japanese demon army. The Weaver Court stuff is really cool. Yeah. All of it is really cool. Chris is gone. Time to party. Time to party. You think it's very dumb that the two spider demons aren't the same kit? They are, T. Schmidt. They are. It's called, they call them dual kits, but they make boxes for each. I can, with that spider, make either model. Right? So this one is the Jorogumu Mahatsu, but it will make the other one too. They both make, they make either one. It doesn't say so on the side of the box, but it does. It says so on their site. Right? So it will make either one. Same with a lot of their kits. They do what are called dual kits. So they have a lot of the giants that will make like 2 or 3 different giants in one box, but they label it as whatever you bought. So it's a little confusing. Yeah, exactly, T. Schmidt. Just a marketing thing, I think. Matthias is like, oh no, these might get me in trouble. They're really cool, man. 100 Kingdoms is amazing with the knights, the like it's like the Inquisition. It's not, because the Inquisition is a part of another army, but they have like the high priest and the religious crusaders and stuff. It's got a lot of really neat stuff. So I'm a big fan. Yeah, I'm stoked on the dwarves. I think the dwarves are really bitching, right? So far, very much likey. So now I want to put a wash over the bronze. Ta-da! We've done the highlight. Let's do a wash of some sort, or we could use one of the new secret sauce colors. We could. I could do like the brown green, right? The dark green brown over it would be kind of bitching. Let's try that. The dark, I'm showing it to you like it makes a difference. Like you can tell what's going to happen with this. Nobody knows. Or, you know what we could do? We could use like the petroleum brown. Could be really bitching too. Petroleum brown, brown gray, or I'm going to try the new stuff just because I need to test it more. We'll do this. And I'm going to put some in a cup and thin it down a bit. Since I'm not trying to use it as a base coat, I'm trying to use it as a filter. A filter here over the metallics. Yeah, and my stuff from Greece for Conquest is supposed to be here tomorrow, and I only ordered it a week ago. So if they have a big sale going on their side. I'm not affiliated with them at all, by the way. So I'm not trying to make you buy Conquest. Do your thing. You do you. I will be very honest and say that I did not care for the Conquest models in the beginning. I thought the artwork has always been absolutely awesome for their stuff. But I was not a fan of the models because the plastics were a little too round, a little too soft on the details. Now, though, seeing the new models and stuff, and I don't know what new means. I don't know how new this is, but and they've gone with big, huge creatures on a lot of the armies that didn't exist the last time I looked at it, which was years ago. They have some really neat stuff. The only thing we had ever painted, of course, was the Michael Contreras Frost Giant. Right, we started painting the Frost Giant. This is for, I don't remember what army this is for, but this Frost Giant, maybe for the Nords or something like that. But we started doing this Frost Giant years ago, and it was great. But it's done by Michael Contreras as a special edition for them, and is fantastic. But the other models were not like that at all. Had they been, we'd been painting Conquest models for years. But now I'm really getting stoked. The Japanese Yoroni, the demons. And then there is an army called the Sorcerer Kings, which is kind of like a Eastern Indian Hindu mythology that has like the big four-armed Tengu god, and Tengu with bows and Tengu with swords, and the Tengu are the Yoroni, but it has a big bird god with four arms, and it's got the Rakshasa, and it's got Ifrit and Jinn and very elemental. So that's really cool. I got the Fire Tiger. Yeah, I'm going to paint him on stream, Jay Matthias. The Rakshasa. I have all sorts of stuff. Oh no, the Tengu are the Yoroni. Or, yeah, Tengu are Yoroni. So the Tengu for the Yoroni, freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. I'm stoked on that. They're very big models. These are like dreadnought-sized Tengu. They're not like little dudes. You get 3 of them in this big box. They're brutes. They're big models, which is rad. I got this. This is called the Lineage Prideborn. This is their Artisan series. This is like done by other sculptors and stuff. It's really cool. It's for the spires, though. which I don't like a lot of their faction, but I really like this kind of centaur lion flesh construct with a huge bow. It's a really neat model. So I figured I'd just get it to paint. And then there's some more dwarf stuff that are like the automatons, the Steel Forge, which are like these robotic automaton, fire-driven kind of things. I don't think they did themselves a service with all the weird, blunt, heavy scratch detail on the box art. I think it takes away from the model. Makes it visually hard to tell where the lines are because they painted all these really heavy brushstrokes on here with metallic paint. So it's a little funky, but they're good. They're neat models. Tons of fun stuff. Plus, I have 50,000 other dwarves, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, I need to make sure I put water in this. I get excited in talking, and then I would have just painted this on the model, and that would have been a disaster. So this is just our secret sauce, our answer to speed paint that should be coming out at Adepticon with the first 12 colors. And it is easy to mix with just water. Look at that. Just tap water. You don't need any custom mediums or anything like that. Works just like a regular paint, mixes with our other paints. Dallas used some for the first time yesterday on stream and really loved it because he was able to mix like the magenta wash with it. So you can use all of our normal paints along with it. There's nothing so crazy with the medium or the way it is bound chemically that keeps it from working with your normal paints. You can paint over it really nice. I've been using it all along. It's the paint that we have on the skin of the Drake here. So works like a champ. I love it. Yes, Sugar Rush. I have the Genya no Yokai. It's a dual kit, but I'm going to build it as the no Yokai that has the big deformed arm with all the bodies. Yeah, this T. Schmidt, that's the one that I'm doing, the big bird monster with the 4 arms and 6 wings or whatever. Yeah, Choker, exactly. Josh, we have it. The starter set, like 2-player starter set. Nice. Yeah, I don't know what's in the 2-player starter set. Sometimes it's like Spires and 100 Kingdoms, or I don't know. Again, I'm not in the know about the game. I've been trying to learn more about it. I've been having a lot of fun goofing around with it, so we'll see. All right, let's see. Is this what's that going to do? Oh, that's going to be pretty good. That's still kind of dark though, huh? What do you think? That's too dark? That's really oily dark, huh? More water. Let's thin it more. That's still pretty dark, chat. That was like half and half with water, so we're going to go aggressive here. Yeah, Chris checked out, Rocco. I can't expect him to. I never expect him to stay late, but I wanted to keep going, so I'm enjoying painting. It's either turn it off and tell you guys goodnight, and I sit here and paint by myself, or we keep going. So hopefully everybody's into keeping it going. Now you're stuck with me, so here we are. All right, so now it's mostly water. So we'll see how it does as mostly water. I have to watch it because the flow should be crazy, but I want it to still give me coverage and not go into the colors around it too. So let's try to make this. Whoa, that's pretty cool actually. Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of neat. So far, it's just bronze, not dark bronze, just bronze and light bronze. And then the dark green brown secret sauce over the top. This is one of those no idea what I'm going to get, but I'm liking it as we create it. Be a little careful. This stuff stays wet longer than our normal paint, so you don't want to put your fingers on it or you will rub it off almost instantly. So when doing detail stuff and not just throwing it on a model for full coverage, if you're doing detail work like this, you got to be careful to not handle it around the areas that you've applied the paint. You feel like you're flooding everything or not making an impact at all when doing what? What kind of application of paint are we talking about? Like a glaze or a wash? We talk a lot about making sure you control the amount of liquid on the brush, and for filtering stuff like I'm doing now, generally you'll see me take a lot of the material off on my hand first before going to the model. I'm not always doing that here because I'm kind of touching it to the palette to remove a bunch of it first. I like that. That's a good look. That's a heck of a color. I'm finding something out here that the capillary action of this stuff is pretty insane. So this could be a really good alternative for doing pin washing because it just immediately slides into all of these damage nooks and crannies that are on this model. Acts really nicely like a wash going around these recessed, or not recessed, these rivets here that stand proud of the armor. Discovered the new Wizard's Butt color? What do you mean? What I'm doing here? Nah. Wizard's Butt is an elusive thing, man. It's the thing where we just take we don't ever know. Is the thing. You never know. What is Wizard's Butt? I don't know. A lot of times the production group has a lot of fun with it, and they just pick based on, because we take a look and we say, okay, because when we make batches of paint, it all has to be from the same batch of pigment and raw materials. If we don't have enough raw material, we don't mix the batches, right? So we won't mix up a batch of Pyro Red from two different pigment batches. And so if we don't have enough of a pigment batch to do an entire run, then it gets set aside and eventually gets mixed in with some other pigment to make a Wizard's Butt color. And so the production group gets to have some fun with that. They get to kind of figure out like what they want to make from what we have lying around. Not leftovers necessarily. It's batches because we don't like to run batches together like that. So I really like that. I think I hit my finger right there. Because now when we go back and highlight this, we'll have a lot of nice contrast. But it'll still work with the coloring. with this much water in the paint, it's drying pretty quick too. So as you thin it down, you will speed up your cure time dramatically. What if you fall in love with banana butt and you never want to get it again? Yeah, exactly, man. That's the fear, right? Wizard's butt is the paint that is like the one-off championship tournament gun you won in your favorite video game, and if you die, they can loot it off your corpse and it's gone forever. Right? If you decide to use it, you could lose it. This is almost too good. This works really, really well. And I'm just doing an overall coat. I'm not trying to necessarily build it up in any funky way. I'm just trying to get it all over the surface real quick. And not touch it along the way is the hard part. Like I can't grab the model where I want to grab the model. Where do I grab this damn thing? Up here by the seat, I guess? Eclectic Salmon, yeah. Expansion set 5 will have Eclectic Salmon in it. I'm expecting to do expansion set 5 this next year. So it will come after we've done more of these secret sauce paints, but it will be there. I don't know if we'll do expansion set 6 this next year. That's a lot to ask. 48 new paints. And then 2 expansion sets. Might be a lot, but we'll see. No promises on that. But expansion set 5 will have that. And expansion set 5 most likely will have the banana yellow color from Wizard's Butt. I'm very happy with that one. It may also have the terracotta from the current Wizard's Butt set, because I'm very happy with that color too. I don't promise that, but I always reserve the right to turn anything that is a Wizard's Butt color into a normal color. So don't feel robbed We've never said that Wizards Butt would always be, you know, a one-off exclusive. That's just the intent with them. We might move the, you know, the ones that people demand or the ones that we really like the most into being an actual color. Because every now and then you make hits. You make the song for the B-side, and the B-side becomes the hit. And then you record the B-side a lot of different ways. Might be the way. You never know, chat. You never know. You get a lot of water on the brush this time and do this out here. These big areas. Dry my brush off a little bit, come back and kind of wick it out of the areas where I feel like it's a little too thick up there. Down here I'm less concerned, but I'm going to wick a little bit of it. I like the way it fills in the kind of hammered details in there, so that's nice. Sorry if I'm missing questions, guys. That's one of the problems with keeping the show going without a producer, is that you have to deal with my incessant lack of paying attention. It's not because I don't love you. I'm really happy with this. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Let that dry for a minute. You always miss the details when you're hammered. I mean, I don't drink anymore, so. You see what I have to put up with, chat? Gnarly, that's awesome. Thank you. Mouth McCoy, what's going on? Thank you. Yeah, these are still, believe it or not, it's still the early stages of it. Just kind of getting, you know, base layers down on all the bits, but now being able to do it in a little bit more of a detailed way with the paint. I wanted to do all this because it's kind of messy, and then we'll highlight some. Oh, we could highlight some of the armor. I can't work on the stuff we just did, but I can highlight some of the armor now, which would be cool. Where I want to use the bright pale green that we. Or actually, you know what? I think I want to use white blue, chat. I think I want to use white blue to highlight the armor. Let's play with that and see. We use bright pale green as the last dry brush on the armor. This is all just airbrush and dry brush. This is super simple stuff. You go back and watch the, we've only worked on this twice before today. So the idea here to bring out the detail in the armor and to kind of bring it into focus, since it is pretty much all airbrush and it gets a little soft on the look, is to come in and gently put in some of this line work, right, where we have this detail and texture. And the dry brush tells us where the color needs to go, because the dry brush picked up all the high areas. And then we go and basically just highlight those areas where the dry brush hit. That'll tighten everything up, give us the contrast so we don't have to do a lot. Because remember, when you're doing it for, gaming, you don't want to spend tremendous amounts of time on everything, but you do want to make it look good. And this big model is going to take a lot of time no matter which way you cut it, really, because you've got to go in and do so many areas, right? Because you just have so much. You have a whole regiment's worth of surface area you got to cover. So there's no way to get away from that. And take as long as it does. But we don't have to do, like 3 or 4 highlights. The dry brush did the first one technically, and then we just come in and do the second one and pull out some of these spots, like I said, where the dry brush is already showing us where to put it, and you can get as detailed as you want. Do little deets and doots and scritches. It's up to you how far to take it. But all of a sudden, that puts a lot of dimension to this neat texture, because this model is molded really well. The texture that's on here is part of the model, so we don't have to work very hard. It kind of guides us to the finish line easily here. You did blue orcs? The aged copper green, when you say that, the verdigris color of the armor? Yeah, I'm going to add more colors to this along the way if I get crazy. I kind of play it by ear and say, I don't know if I'm done yet or if I'm going to add more or whatever, but my goal is to put some other influence colors in here, like some yellows and things like that for environmental highlight, like sunlight and things like that, bouncing off of it. But I'm not quite there yet in my decision-making process. It's just a good time to catch all the scratches, highlight stuff. The green's almost modeled like stone, right? It has these big, huge chunks out of it. It wouldn't necessarily happen this way with stone, but it still gives the feel of almost a stone when you look at the texturing, which I like. Painting squigs as bright and colorful as possible. It's always good. Orcs can be whatever color the orcs want to be. I've probably been more of a traditionalist with orcs. I either do green or orangish skin, but then take advantage of the fact that the armor can be whatever the hell you want it to be, and add a bunch of color in that way. Because they're kind of like junkyard dogs, right? You can kind of get crazy with the color scheme in other ways and not have to deviate if you don't want to away from the green skin and fun stuff there. Not all green skins have to look alike. Now I really like that. Tedious, but I don't have to do it once, right? I don't have to go back and re-highlight this stuff if I don't want to. Because of all the airbrush work and everything that we've already done, this is setting off a really good contrast. The dry brush already gives me my first stage highlight. So as long as I don't paint, you notice hopefully that I'm not painting every edge all the way. I'm kind of like poking a little bit, then I'll pull a little bit, then I'll poke a little bit, so that my highlight never goes the whole edge. Let the dry brush highlight be part of the edge so that it looks like you've blended it a little bit. And then really just put this brighter color where the brighter highlight was on the dry brush. Like I said, let it guide you. Stipple a little bit in there. Make it easy on yourself. Like this dry brush edge has made it to where it goes from faded to bright to faded. So let's just hit right in the middle with the white blue and let the dry brush fade exist at the top and the bottom. Pulls it together really nice. Same thing, these lines are the same kind of dry brush faded green. Just pop some of the white at the white blue at the brightest spots here. White blue is lasting forever on this brush. I don't know if anybody else is out there is noticing, but I've been painting for a long time with the same brush load of white blue. This piece, unfortunately, doesn't have any texture to it, so I'm just going to create some and make some little nicks off the side so it doesn't feel left out. That I really like. Now it's starting to come to life. Now we're getting some depth on it. All right, let's go back and do some metallic. I wonder if I can, because I can paint right over this now. I'm wondering if I should go and try to stick with, because I have some of the light bronze here still. Is light bronze going to be too bright, do we think? On the edge now? Because we've darkened this up quite a bit. So if I put the light bronze on here, what does it do for us? Oh no, that looks pretty good, huh? That's pretty thin down, but let me... Works pretty good. It may not be bright enough now that I look at it. I wonder if I need to use like silver. I may need silver on this. Or white gold? Does white gold get brighter? I don't think so. Yeah. Yeah, white gold probably does better for us. So let's do that. Yeah, white blue is one of my favorite colors of all time. Bright pale yellow, bright pale yellow, white blue, my most used tint additives, like to brighten things up. They're just the thing I go to all the time. Flesh tones for reds, but yeah, I think white gold. White gold. It's going to be the answer. The bright bronze shows through the base layer paint enough that I don't think it brightens up the armor for us enough when we go back over it with it, but we'll see. Oh, this may not be bright enough. That's crazy. Maybe. Okay, yeah, that works good. I think that's worth the effort. Question mark. I'm always looking at, okay, what's the value I'm getting from this? Not value in brightness, value in like actual value. Is this being worth it? Or do I feel like this is a waste of time? I'm on the border with this. Let me try it on some of these other areas. All right, see, like down here, where I applied that coat first, it was much darker. Having a really good effect down here because it really brightens those edges up, makes them pop instantly. Okay, yeah, I think that's the right way to do it. I mean, that looks like scratch bronze. Oh, and now you can see it up here. Now it's starting to brighten up over the other areas. Yeah, I really like that. Me likey. Body out of here. Have a great one. Thank you, sir. Enjoy the evening. We'll see you back here mañana. Close out the week. It's very strange. Our company is moving to 411s. I guess we have to say it that way, right? 411s in the new year. The crew will only be working from Monday through Thursday now. And so it was, I think Gabe pointed out that tomorrow will be the last Friday because the whole crew has the Friday after Christmas and the Friday after New Year's off. So tomorrow is the last Friday we will work as Monument Hobbies. Not me. Chris, I guess that's a lie, right? Because Chris and I have to be in here and we'll be streaming. We're not giving up Friday streams. You're stuck with us, chat. Don't get all excited. Don't get all excited yet. You can't get rid of us that easy. But the rest of the company, the people who actually do the stuff, be the last Friday. Tomorrow will be the last Friday they have to work for the foreseeable future. How crazy is that? Well, that looks so good. So good. 410s is not the way that is really works. It's 411s because you get an hour lunch, right? And so in order to work the 40-hour week, it's 411s plus an hour lunch. Or 411s and there's an hour lunch in there. So you're working 10 hours a day, 4 days a week, right? Somebody told me we have to call it what it is. It's 411s. It's not 410s. Like, all right, HR. I'll follow your rules this time. Yeah, we're saying the same thing. 410s. The idea being that it was much better to have a 3-day weekend and 4 intense days, in our opinion, than it was to just make 5 days more intense. Not to the same level, but get my drift. What about long and hard? Big change. Big change at the company. Yeah, maybe we can get back to doing Friday game days. I hope that people are off spending time with their families and enjoying having, 3 days off every week. I don't know what to do with it, right? Because we're going to come in for the stream, Chris and I, but I mean, we're not working for the rest of the day. We'll just come in for the stream. I have no idea what I'm going to do on Fridays. What? Jen and I can go do things again? What? Yeah, the 411s counts. There's a 1 hour lunch break and then 10 hours of work. Actually, 9.5 hours of work because you get 2 15-minute breaks too by law that are paid, right? So you get 30-minute paid break total during the course of the day and then an hour lunch that is unpaid in there. Joshua, you got to run at 24 in shifts. Yeah, shifts is rough. We thought about that too, but that is such a costly endeavor. And because we do employee profit sharing, we're really rooted in trying to make sure that our expenses are well controlled. Doesn't always work, but that's our goal. And the harsh reality is you wind up spending a lot for night managers, right? You know better than anybody if you run 24/7. And night managers are something we didn't want to invest in. And I like this model more and more every time I put another coat of paint on it. Uh-oh, what happened here? To activate chat, is chat not activated? Somebody type in chat. Did chat turn off? Hello? Can you guys still hear me? A big note just showed up on my screen about chat turning off. Okay, there it is. There you go. There you go. It's showing up again. You work a 5-5-4 rotation? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, the screen freaked out on mine, or chat did. I don't know if I missed any messages. I was staring at it and didn't move. And then a message popped up saying, to re-enable chat, click here, which I did. It's a ploy for more engagement. Yeah. More of this engagement that I forget to pay attention to and people get mad at me. That's what I need. No, I always get weirded out when the machine tells me that there's something wrong, and I'm like, it doesn't seem like anything's wrong. What are you talking about? Is it trolling me? Usually it's trolling me. You couldn't get mad at me. Oh, you just wait. You just wait. You think it's all hunky-dory right now. It's not a matter of if I'll piss you off, it's when. Okay, maybe that's not true, but maybe that's not true. 2 night managers you have now, for one thing, both know what they're doing, which is way harder to find. Oh, yeah. No, it's not way harder to find than I think. I am amazed. I sit around and think to myself, because most of, even at a small business like Monument, it's at a point where, we have to have basically team management in a lot of situations to ensure that stuff happens correctly. And it's like, okay, so now do we have to replace that whole team to do a night shift? It just didn't make sense for us. We couldn't figure it out how in the world we were going to make that happen and make everybody confident, the employees, the management. It's crazy. It ain't easy being cheesy. You hear him trying to not make the bright edges on the metal as chunky this time. I do want the shine, and this is making the secret sauce on here is making the metallics blend a lot better. And I don't know. I'd have to dig in and try to figure out why I'm seeing that happen. Probably just because it knocked the shine of the metallic down so much. But this is being really good. It's pretty good. Flapjack, yeah, exactly. The people who are dependable and really want to work late at night. Late night's a rough shift, and a lot of people won't admit it, but it does bad things to your body. it's tried and true in my opinion that the human body, there's a reason why we typically sleep when it's dark, right? I long ago was introduced to this theory of the gravitational forces between the Earth and the Moon, and there's a lot to be said for that, and how our bodies like system of repair. I think that it, and somebody will call me a liar for this. Go look it up. But I believe it's between the hours of 1 and 4 a.m. when your liver does the most repair to its cells, like replaces cell structure. And that's obviously very important to your body to be able to reconstitute the cells that are damaged or, just need shedding. And if you're up working, your body can't do that. So it's always been a contested thought that, you shouldn't have people work at that point in time, because that's literally like preventing them. It's not killing them, but it's preventing them from doing what the body needs to do. Because it's also known that the liver doesn't choose a different time to do that, I think. So that kind of stuff always interests me to go learn about. I'm not a big biology fan, but that kind of stuff is always like, oh, really? Interesting. Interesting. What do we think, chat? We like that color? We liking that? Does horrible things to your body. You actually have a how to night shift the right way guide I compiled with the help of. Oh, nice. Raiders. Did we get a raid? Hello, everybody. Who raided us? Cellular autophagy. T. Schmidt's like, you want to paint my Dweggle? No. That was not an offer. I'm just asking what we think of the bronze. Because this is a pretty easy recipe, right? This was bronze, light bronze, secret sauce, dark green brown, very, very thin. That's the part I got to remember about that. Very, very thin. Right? Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Tommy friend, see what's going on. There's the message finally. Yeah, and on my producer, we usually end the stream at 4, Raiders. Welcome in. Hi, my name is Jason. You've wound up finding the magic of Monument Hobbies here on a Thursday. We are painting a Conquest Last Argument. Well, I guess this one is Conquest Last Argument of Kings. I don't think you can play the big monsters in First Blood, but it's a Conquest Last Argument of Kings. What's this thing called? Ironclad Drake, something like that, for the dwarves. And Chris, our producer, went home on time. God bless him. And we're going long. But part of the problem with me going long is that I am now incapable of seeing alerts and being a good producer. So I have a mouse that barely works over here on the stage. Well, it's not true. It works now that it's plugged into the right port on the computer. I have a mouse and a dream. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you on a Thursday. I don't know how long I'm going to be going, but I'm having fun right now, so we'll keep it up for a while. Today was our corporate Christmas lunch. We didn't do a full-on Christmas party this year. We did lunch, where one of our employees' mom, who is a fantastic maker of foods, catered a taco stand for us, and it was freaking awesome. And then we did all of our company profit share payouting and all that kind of nice stuff, which is fun. and we came and streamed. But for those of you who don't know, we are Monument Hobbies. We make Pro Acrylic paints, Pro Series brushes, all the amazing hobby products you can handle. Right here from Phoenix, Arizona. I used to be able to say we make everything right here in the building you're seeing me stream from. That's not the case anymore. Production and fulfillment and basically everything other than the creative marketing team and the sales team are in our other building. The studio, the creative marketing team, and our sales team, and a couple of admin people are still here in this building. My office is in the other building now. I still wind up spending about the same amount of time here, though. And I don't use metallic paint very often, so this is unusual to show up and have me doing metallic paints. I will apologize to anybody who's just landing in here. I am horrible at keeping up with chat. We have had a couple of the most amazing of our community members step up and say they would love to help out when it's just me by myself. But I always am bad at planning, so that hasn't ever really kicked in yet. Maybe we can make that work here soon. Give me a chance if you have a question and you're not seeing me answer it, ask it again. If I don't ask it the second time, kick my shins under the table. I give you full permission to kick me under the table. It's fine. It's fine. Vitals, thank you. Yeah, this is all just really base coats. This is it's all done airbrush, quick airbrush base coats for the armor, and then we airbrush the skin. Then we have a new product coming out that is our answer to contrast paints. Those will be coming out at Adepticon this year, and so I used one of the colors on the skin to get this kind of orangish reddish color. Actually, I mixed two colors. I mixed warm brown and orange of our upcoming paint, and put it over the skin. And then and now today we're doing the metallics. So this is day 2.5 of working on this guy, I guess you would call it. We worked on him for one stream, and then one after hours stream, and then today. So coming along pretty well. For painting such a big beastie, I like to find ways to do them quick, because obviously they can suck your soul if you're not careful. This one's really fun, so I don't know that it would be a soul sucker no matter what. But it can be something you get so lost in that you're like, is it ever gonna end? We already know, chat, that I am amongst the world's worst at actually finishing models, which is crazy because in the last week we finished a bunch. Dallas came in and finished one, that rat bastage, showing me up. But I even finished models. How crazy is that? All right, because we have so much upward facing portions on this crest on the neck, I'm going to glaze this white gold at the high points here, right? So thin it way down with water, just like you would any paint, and then I'm going to glaze it in here and use the side of the brush to kind of hopefully be able to keep some of that texture still going. If it feels like it's too thick, hit it with your finger and blend it. And do the same thing on these other pieces. Finger blending, like that little smudge, can make all the difference. So don't ever be afraid to kind of, especially when working with glazes, put a paint in an area and then just kind of smack it with your finger. It may lift some of it. If you put the paint on too fast or too heavy and you do that, you can leave a fingerprint. So be careful that it's only when you're painting thin and with very light amount of paint. But then when you get done, you get a nice shine, and even your metallics blend pretty well. So you don't get big chunky areas where the metallic paint can start to color band like a candy corn, and you want to try to prevent that. So that finger smudge can help a lot. What colors would you use if you were going to do non-metallic metal bronze like this instead? I would start with dark golden brown. I would work it up into the green brown probably, because that's the color we used of the speed paint alternative. And then the highlight color you're not going to find in a non-metallic, right? Because the white gold is literally like a the closest thing you're probably going to get is like a bone and ivory style color. So that's what I would use. And then I'd go to bright ivory as a highlight. And you would need to play around to figure out how to keep some of that yellowishness in it, right? I think the dark golden brown and the green brown might take you into too much of a greenish brown tinge. So you might want to glaze a little bit of, at that point, probably like a yellow ochre back in it. You might do yellow ochre after the green brown and then go into the khaki or the ivory would be my suggestion there. Let's see if I have. Do I have anything kind of like that? Is good old Horus is close. Yeah. Horus is super close, yeah? Look at that. And Horus would have been like that, dark golden brown. But that's super duper close on the way I did the bronze on Horus. It almost tracks, like there on the shoulder up to here, almost looks like the same, looks like I painted the same metallics. But he's all non-metallic. Sorry, I can't zoom in because I don't have a producer. He left me. Yeah, for bronze, I like starting with dark golden brown because it has kind of a cool greenish yellow flavor to it, which is really nice. Flavor, I didn't say that. Don't need the paint. I'm interested to try Prochrome paint, says Night Slayer. I'm used to Vallejo. Any difference on thinning and application? Typically, you will not thin our paints as much. Our paints start more fluid. They are not thinner. They are more fluid and less viscous. Okay. The secret to how we make paint here at Monument Hobbies is that we have more pigment in our paint and our paint feels lighter. I use the term lighter because when you paint with it, it's not thick. It doesn't feel like snot. A lot of people say, I wish my paint was creamier. They're used to heavy paint, but creamy paint leaves brush strokes and is heavier to mix with, harder to manipulate on the surface of the model a lot of times, depending on your style. It can be great for certain things. So ours is lighter weight feeling, so it moves around better, but it's not thin. And if you add the same amount of water that you would to a Vallejo, you might wind up getting too much dilution on ours and it's too, you've lowered the opacity too much and things like that. So I typically say, whatever you're used to thinning, use about half of that, right? And see where it gets you, see how you like the opacity and the flow. And then you can thin it to its heart content. I mean, you can thin it down to near nothing if you want. You're just going to reduce its opacity quicker, right? It acts more like fine art paint. So if you're used to using like our expert acrylic line, like heavy bodied acrylics, and the way that they respond to water, you can change the opacity very quickly without having to do a whole lot to it. Our liquid acrylics are the same way. Chris proved he likes bingo more than the producer. He's like, B24. Maybe he's the bingo caller. Maybe that's why. It's not that he's playing, it's that he's moonlighting. I-17. Ideas for a Space Marine unit called the Hound Dogs of the Elvistus Prostartes. You gonna do Fat Elvis? You gonna do white with sequins, or are we gonna do jeans and black leather? You gotta let me know what you're doing there. I think Fat Elvis is the way to go. I think white with gold trim and sparkles. Yeah, to become the mayor of the town he's in, he has to go run bingo night to get the votes. He's out rocking the vote. I-17. We got to remember that for tomorrow to give him hell. The mayoral run. I forgot all about that. Poor guy. Yeah, we jumped into Conquest here recently, so we've got the Ironclad Drake, and I did build one Fireborn, Forgeborn, I don't remember what these guys go, Fireborn, I don't remember. They have freaking cannons on their shoulder, it's rad. So this is the Dwarf. The Dwarf is as big as a Primaris Marine. So when your dwarves are chonkier than Primaris, like he's like Terminator size, that's when you know it's the game for me. Because that means everything else is ginormous. So I get big dragons and big bulky dreadnought type things. I love it. I love it. Bingo boy. What's up, bingo boy? The 66 comeback in leather for scouts. Oh my God. You've thought about this way too much. Slick Willies fed a chili wire. Yeah, Tommy, Slick Willies. It's a tall dwarf. Yeah, I mean, I like the scale because it's. I think they call it 38 millimeter scale on these guys. So it's really nice because the models are chunky, right? You get a lot of detail and they're big and hefty. They take up a lot of space. You don't necessarily have to have a crap ton of models for a rank and flank game. They do it really nicely. The standard regiment of small troops, like this guy, has 12 models in it, as opposed to having to have like 20 or 30 models in a regiment to play. You can get away with a lot less. So I like that. I haven't played it. I've watched it be played and I've read the rules through, and I'm a painter. I'm a painter, not a fighter, Jimmy. More white blue. Yeah, you know what I said after I fought Don Shields in high school. I was there. You remember what Don Shields looked like? That's what my old name was. Perhaps I was Don Shields. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I feel like we're out too far for details for deets and doots. I'm over here now, chat. I'm over here. I'm touching Chris's stuff. You can't see it, but it's happening. Oh, look. Look, the magic. Oh, the lack of focus. Like that, maybe? We'll see if that's all right. Oh, mucho better. Mucho better. Oh. You can see the work on the bronze. The bronze is looking really good. I don't know what happened there. My pin stopped working. It'll be lighter as I'm up top where the shadow would be, and heavier brush stroke as I go down low. So up here, I might just kind of tap a couple times very lightly to get a little bit of deet and doot thing going. And then once I get it together, then I start doing my edge and press more towards the bottom so that it goes into shadow as it goes up into the top of those. Rather than just pulling a line, because the line will have equal weight up top. Well, that's where the shadow is, right? So I want to just kind of barely tap the brush up here, create some braille, right? And then as it comes down, do my line out of that dot that we've done. And now you have a blended line, or a faded line is the right way to say that, right? Give a little bit more brush pressure to where a crack hits the edge, because you'll get more glint there, right? So anytime a crack actually hits the edge, brighten it up right there. A stipple, just use the tip of the brush and just kind of lightly bounce it across the surface so you don't get a whole lot of paint, but you can catch some of those striations, give it kind of a marbling effect. Looks kind of cool on this. It's less a highlight. I mean, it is a highlight, but it's done with less aggression than your normal one, so that you get it more as a detail or a texture. Looks pretty good. Joshua, you going to buy a sticker from us? We don't sell the stickers. They come in your orders for free. Da-da-da. Buy a paint, get a sticker. The weirdest workout session while watching chill painting, says Bald Man. What are you doing? You doing legs, shoulders, back, arms? Inquiring minds want to know. Cardio? Yeah, he didn't change the color. I'm back to just bland old lights. Full body workout. That means CrossFit. That means he's rolling tires down an alleyway while listening to painting. Nerd. Nerd. You know, a girl named Donna Shields in high school, I don't think most of us could beat her up because she was big and tough farm girl who played hockey. I have played hockey with numerous females who were absolutely brutal on the ice. Brutal. Most of them French Canadian. Not going to lie. Brutal. It turns out it doesn't matter who's going fast on ice knives. When they hit you, if they square up and are solid about it, it's going to hurt. So you're going to follow the black non-metallic metal video, but you're lacking dark purple. You can use royal with a touch of black mixed in. Yeah, royal purple on its own can work pretty well. It's just a little bit brighter. So the black or the black transparent would be a good way to knock it down a bit. Good thinking. So this is got like cracks vertically through the edge here, right? So we'll kind of hit those first lightly along that edge. I don't have to do the whole crack, but I want to break up the edge where I can, like so, and then figure out where along that edge I want to do my highlight, and I might stipple quite a bit or grab right after that. even the faintest touches of my brush help detail that line. Remember that you do not have to just edge highlight. You don't have to just pull your brush. Textures and brief little scritches make for a better edge highlight where you didn't ever really pull an edge highlight. Works like a champ, especially on things like this where it's like a textured, beat up, dwarven forged metal kind of a thing. Let your brush help you out and come up with some of the creative stuff on its own just by leveraging very light touches. Space them out and then bulk them up where you want it to be brighter. And you can make for really, really cool edging without having to know much, right? It doesn't take any special skills to do this. Just remember that, oh, I don't have to pull a line. Jason said just start with a doot, 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 and then towards the end kind of blend them together to make it brighter where you need it. It's very hard to just do a line and drop it in the middle of another line and not have it look, kind of odd. Because if you just do a line that has a hard edge to it, it's going to look like, what does it turn into? It doesn't blend anywhere, makes it tough, stands out a little bit too much. Now we can use those light touches into a brighter buildup to give us a fade out for our line, so it looks like it just turns into, a lighter chunk or part of the texture overall. Takes just a hair longer, but definitely worth it. Rather than just heavy metal and pulling a big old long line. Again, just little bitty touches with the tip of the brush. You can just make dots all the way and then just gather them together. More dots towards the end. More dots. And that was all just stippling. But it gives you a faded, blended highlight. This one's brighter up at the top than here. The dry brush has shown us that. So here we start with little dots back this way and then build them up as we go up here, and press a little bit harder as you get up here so it broadens them out, thickens them up. Spread them out a little bit more. But still all dots, no lines. Oh, yeah, definitely. Welcome. Speaking of touching lightly, welcome to the stream, chat. Oh, Jace, Wirehead, you're talking about Shorzy. I have not watched Shorzy, as we probably have talked about on stream, but I've watched a bunch of the outtakes of Shorzy. And thank you for reminding me, because the other day what came up on my feed is that they do the Shorzy, I forget what they call, memorial every year. Holy amazing. They take the guys that play hockey on Shorzy, because they actually can play, right? Most if not all the team can actually play, right? And they take these guys, including the main actor, and they go play the alumni for NHL teams. So I saw him play the Boston Bruins. Holy mackerel, that was amazing. Charity thing they do, it's absolutely balls out hilarious. I don't know anything about the show, but they introduced all the Shorzy guys. They introduced all the Boston Bruins, like, for who they were and what they'd done in their career, how many NHL seasons and things like that. I just went back and did the vertical cracks in there, and that livens it up a bit, right? We'll go back and do these that I started with on this line too. Yeah, I think it was amazing. I've seen outtakes from it, and I'm sure I would really like it. I'm not a TV guy. I hate to break it to people. I say it all the time, but I'm just not. I don't care for television. Even when it's something that I like, I find very little time for it. One of those that says there's always something better to do than sit in front of the TV. You hear painting. staring at dumb crap on YouTube, which is the same thing. But Tadpole says it's the closest to TV I get. Yeah, me too. Yeah, the hockey they play against old timer pros was good. Every now and then they have goalies in there that are like old timers and they take it easy on them and stuff. It's pretty funny. You know, you can tell the goalie's going to kill himself if he makes that save. But it's funny. I enjoyed it. I had a good laugh. It wasn't the whole game. It was just the outtakes. I don't know that they have anywhere where you can watch the whole game or not, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And just little dots, little bitty dots. You need a fine brush and confidence in your hand being able to do small dots on there, but gives it really good textures. Can really bring the model alive when you don't just do a line. Like Dallas was saying in chat there, the imperfections can make for textures and material. You'll hear me say all the time that material focus is so important in model painting and the storytelling part of it. Like, how do you make the shirt feel different than the pants and the material, that the leather of the pants and the armor, if all you do is change the color? You need to change the way the color is applied to give it texture. You know, like a wool sweater has a different texture than blue jeans, has a different texture than a cotton shirt. So when you can learn how to use what is technically light and the reflection of how a texture looks, then all of a sudden your storytelling is made easier, because you can very quickly use texturing and brushstroke, like the stuff that I'm doing right now with stippling. Stippling is just doing a lot of dots. In the fine art world, it's known as pointillism if you do a whole painting with it, right? Some old paintings are all done completely with dots. And so you can stipple an entire painting. That would make me want to shoot myself, but you know, whatever. I guess if you're patient, go for it. But on this, using dots as ways to just do the highlights and poke them onto the model is not only fun and relaxing to some extent, but it also makes this look like a different material than the metal, where on the metal I did the lines like lines. Because on metal, it's like a solid right angle corner. It's not going to have, unless it's modeled with chunks out of it, which some of this was. I just pull a line because it makes it feel like a hard, cold surface. On things like this, it makes it a little bit softer. You can tell it's been worn differently. It's not as sharp. I could put my hand on this and we know what that feels like, right? Because this softer, broader line, and it's not sharp and crisp. It rounds off a little bit. It's worn out, you know, like stone or just really old metal. That kind of stuff tells a lot of the story for you when the model can't. You know, the model is just standing here doing its thing. You're not going to put it, I'm not going to put this guy in a diorama. I'm not trying to do, you know, a lot of storytelling with it, but my paint can no matter what. And that's huge. My paint is too thin. My hat is too small. Oh yeah, like pointillism artists are just whack jobs though. Like, can you imagine? Like in this little space, I'm like, nope. And they're doing it on like, you know, 4-foot canvases. I'm like, nope. You're insane. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's serial killer stuff. Sometimes helps when doing stippling to choke up or choke back on the bat, right? So normally I hold the brush with my fingers right up at the end of the ferrule. When I'm doing stippling, I typically go back about 2 inches on the brush, right? I get better leverage that way. My movements have a more dramatic, smaller movements have a more dramatic effect at the tip because of the longer lever. right? So I just barely go in, and it gives me perfect presses. Whereas if I choke back up on the brush, sometimes it requires you to move your hand more to do the same work, and then I tend to put too much pressure on the brush. Here, very light pressure does a lot of work, so I can be timid almost with the way that I'm attacking the model, but be rewarded for it because it still does pretty good paint application. Did we figure out the issues with the brush machine yet on the printer? It's not that it has issues, it's that it's taking the production team way too long to get it through its testing phase. It throws up error codes. It's not because it's erroring, it's because it's never been used and it's going through its break-in period. And so we just need to get it all those kinks worked out. But yeah, they're working on it. It's not making brushes yet, much to my chagrin. We have a ton of these handles, like the one I'm painting with over there, that are ready to go. They just got to get printed. You have to do the printing on the handle before you do the crimping, the way our jig is set up. And so we have a bunch of handles that are not complete brushes yet that are ready to go at a moment's notice once we get the okay that the damn printer is functioning properly. Not looking too shabby. The brush packaging for EU out yet? It is sorted. They do not have the packaging yet, but it's going on. It's on its way. We're gonna send some of the US packaging over there while the actual packaging company gets the ability to supply us over there. That should be very quickly. We have brush sables and synthetics and everything sitting over in the EU that we can't sell, but it'll be happening soon. As will the Mega Set. I'm going to put the Mega Set up over in the EU for the first time on the store here soon, maybe this next week. So yeah, we'll have more and more available over there in the very near future. Ah, that was bad. That was bad. See if I can squib that out. Bounce the brush on the surface there real quick. Battle image. Huzzah! Die! The time of, what are they called? The gnats that come out of the drain? Drain flies? So much precision. Frontline, what's going on? I don't know. Is it? It feels like I'm like, okay, I'm almost there. This is a big model, so don't discount the fact that we have a lot of real estate, a lot of landing strip to land the plane on here. But yeah, it is just patience, right? It's using the like I said, using the brush to get the bulk of the work done by letting it, not worrying about precision lines and such, letting it bounce on the surface, letting it create dots, not worrying if my lines are perfectly straight when I do scritches, because perhaps they're not perfectly straight in the real world. But yeah, it's more the precise knowledge of where you need to locate your little dings and such to get it to look good, because you do want to follow your light. You do want to make sure that things, feel like if the light were really shining on this, that this would be where it would be giving you the highlight and such. So following that path is kind of the first rule you have to learn, and then you can start being like, okay, well, now I can do anything, right? How I apply the paint to make it look like the light is there becomes the key, as opposed to just, where do I put the light? At first, it's spend all your time figuring out where to put the light. Don't worry about the complicated things. Work up to the complicated things. I'm liking that, though. Big fellow's starting to look good. This is the part that eats up all the time, right? You're like, oh, let's paint it fast. And you're like, great. And then you do this, and you're like, meh. It's like, oh, wait a minute. 5 million scratches? I didn't sign up for this. And do a little bit of highlight under here. Barely flicking the brush. So it barely touches that edge. This would be something that would be better if we did it with 2 colors. But if you can control your hand pretty well, you can get a very light touch along the edge that makes it look like a darker color because there's not as much paint, and then brighten it up at the end. You got to kind of rotate the brush so you know you're not going to get a big, huge, chonky hit on the model, and then just kind of feather it out with the dots again. Yeah, which is, the thing with me, if you watch for long, it's that, well, we'll get aggressive, right? It's knowing when to turn it on, when to turn it on. We talk a lot about which brush might be best for you. And, the difference between sable and synthetics, we get asked a lot as a brush manufacturer. And as we run through if you have a heavy touch or if you're very aggressive, sables will take a little of the edge off for you because they have more flex to them, whereas synthetics will be quicker to bounce back with their snap to get your point back for you if you're, bending the brush hard. So it's a very subjective thing. For me, I do everything, right? I attack the model in very heavy brush strokes with very heavy textures a lot of the time, not just with base coating, but if I'm doing heavy, this is mostly airbrushed for the base, but had I been doing this blending on here with a brush, I would have done it with a number 6 and big chunky strokes to get the same effect between the purple, the blue, the jade, and the bright green on the armor. And and then you're beating the crap out of it. And then you have to remember that the next paint you put on, you gotta say, okay, don't do that now when you go to the edges, right? If you just go pow, then you get big chunky edges. So a lot of it is taking that step back and saying, what is my goal right now with the brush in my hand and the paint that's on the brush? Do I need to be delicate? Take a step back and take a breath. Sometimes that's the best thing. Lock and load. Be like, okay, I steeple my fingers. I'm at a standing desk, right? So I just lay my hand on here. It's all comfortable. I lean in and I go, okay, what am I going to do? And I start thinking, and you'll see me a lot of times, I'm moving my brush before paint is hitting the model. Like I want to get a very delicate edge right in here and then taper it off where it gets dark, where I have these dots coming up here. So I just want this area. So I'm kind of coming in and kind of in my brain, I'm looking at, okay, yeah, right about there seems good. And then I'll move the brush a little closer. Now I'm starting to see paint just very lightly. I like that amount of paint, so I'll just kind of feather that out here into my dark spot, right? And then I'll come back and feather it here, and then I'll brighten it up in the middle, hit it again in the middle, then do my dots to blend it out at the edge there, right? But never mates up with this one, but now it looks like it's blended, faded edge. But that's a lot of the time why you'll see me doing the, is he actually painting anything? No, a lot of times I'm not. I'm setting it up in my brain, and my hand and my eye are coordinating on, okay, go closer, go closer, go closer. And then it finally starts seeing paint. You're like, whoa. That's kind of the way that I make sure that I don't overdo it. That if I've just been doing big sloppy brush strokes for some technique, that when I need to get detailed, I kind of set up like that first so that I retrain the brain and get it ready for the detail part. Very cool. Very cool. Then you turn it over and realize the other side isn't started. I got tired today of doing the base coat of the warm brown underneath the bronze. So we kind of decided, well, I decided I wasn't going to do this side. So I only did the thing here because it met in the middle. So I wanted to make sure I didn't. Yeah. We'll have to do and redo. Curse of all. Yeah, I really did. These models really jumped out at me. I have not liked, I've said it a bunch on stream. I have not in the past been able to convince myself for my rule of cool thought process that the Conquest models were what I wanted to dive into. The models' plastics were too soft. The details got lost. They didn't match the artwork. The artwork for the game has always been spectacular, right? They have great artwork. The storyline has been great. But the models, I would see the artwork for the model and be like, oh, and then I'd see the model and be like, ugh. And lately and then I didn't look at it for, a couple of years. And so recently I started looking back, and there's a different me looking at the models now. That's always a thing. Don't ever give up on anything. Go back and look at it again. But they have new models, right? Like the Aroni and the Sorcerer Kings are armies that didn't exist back when I was looking at it. And I'm like, ooh, Japanese demons, sign me up. So like I said, the Jirogumo was something that I saw, and I was like, yep, I'm doing that. She's sitting here, right? The big spider with the geishas is sitting behind me. That was one of my goals tonight, is I thought we'd build it, but I get tired of building on stream, so I'll build it over the weekend. We're going to do some hobbying over the weekend here at the office with a bunch of the guys. So I'll build the Jirogumo, and then we may shift gears, and I probably will finish this guy, though. And then we'll shift gears over to doing the Jirogumo, because I'm super stoked for the Japanese demons. And maybe by then, I think the rest of the army is supposed to show up tomorrow. So I have 2 of those Jirogumo that I got to do, and then a bunch of the Oni, and the big yokai, the no yokai is one that I'm super excited to paint. It's a neat model. It's another big lanky demon, but it's got like a real asymmetric forearm to it, and some neat design. They've got really good art over at Parabellum. Whether it's internal or outsourced, I don't know. But a bunch of good artists working on that game. And it's nice to see that now their models are able to do the artwork justice. I don't know when that started happening, so I apologize if somebody out there is saying, oh my God, that's been that way for a long time. For me, I'm just discovering it, right? And so I'm late to the party if that's the case, but I'm really, really excited for a lot of these models, because of the way that they really do remain faithful to the art that has always been so good. Some of the dwarves I have are very old models, I think, like from the beginning of the launch. So some of them will be frustrating for me, I'm sure, as I go through the whole, well, that plastic's not great. But we'll get through it together, chat, because they look good when you paint them, regardless of how frustrating they may be to build. If you like, if you're looking for some cool models, I have no skin in the game with them. They don't pay us. We're not partnered with them. But I'm really digging what I'm seeing from them. And there's still a more indie version of wargaming. And if you like fantasy rank and flank games, ta-da, you got one. Speaking of digging, man, Joshua, you're on top of it. You're making it happen. It's weird because this chair is like perfect. All the edges are kind of perfect. It doesn't have all the scritches that everything else does, so I kind of add some in on my own. First your Sunday stream, then Tuesday evening, now streaming well past normal Thursday time. I'm getting set for the holidays, man. I'm going to be streaming even when the business is closed for the holidays. I'm really enjoying these models. I'm enjoying my own personal hobby time, which is something that we talk about a lot. Whenever I get the mojo going at full tilt, I latch onto it and I ride it hard. I'm like, yeah, let's paint. Let's do this. And if I can transfer any of that energy to you guys, that's great. Let's do it. I love streaming. Obviously, been doing this for 10 years. And, even though sometimes running a hobby company winds up being, the vehicle that takes you out of wanting to do the hobby, not going to lie, sometimes the business of it makes you be like, I don't want to talk about painting. But right now, I've really got the mojo going. I'm enjoying these models. I'm enjoying the idea of painting these models. And so more than anything, I'm ready to let's turn it on. Let's get together. Let's do the thing. So throughout the holidays, I plan on streaming. Even when we are shut down, we'll have some fun. So hopefully if you guys have sitting around and are bored on the holidays after filling your belly on Christmas or whatever, I don't know that I'll stream Christmas Day, but I might stream like the day after. We're closing the shop the day after Christmas and day after New Year's, so. Ready to get sick of me, chat? It's tough with a day job, but when you catch the bug, you got to paint. Yeah, you really do, right? You really do. You got to put a wizard's butt print on that chair. You still want to find an Oni tattoo that fits with the rest of your tattoos? Speaking of skin in the game, like a demon mask Oni kind of a thing. There's so many. Good God, you got to be able to find something that fits. So many. Like think about like Tengu, right? You just want like yokai, like Tengu, and you got birds and avian-esque ones and snakes and cobras and crazy, witches and female and male heads. There's anything, dogs, anything. You got a Night Quest stores for early Christmas. Nice. Nights are fun to paint. 2 Judgment Heroes, a full Wolf Scout kill team, and 2 competition pieces get painted before Adepticon. No pressure. You got plenty of time. It's like only 3 months away. Did I say that? Did I say, was that my outside voice? Did I just say that you only have 3 months before Adepticon? Holy cow. I was just on the phone with Hank from Adepticon the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, please don't tell me it's going to be right away. feel like I did not highlight this thing up here enough. My paint is dry. My paint dried up. I didn't hear my highlight just goes, and you see that line just stops. It's like, up, oops. I'm talking about just don't ever let a highlight line just hit the brakes like that. Always do something to feather it out so that it looks like it is realistic, or more so realistic, right? Slightly kind of hit the brush on it, maybe take your finger and blend it. Now it doesn't just end, and now it kind of blends and fades away like the one down here does, right? It's really easy with your brush stroke to just have the highlight hit the brakes and have a very squared off edge in the middle of a line, and then it looks like an oops. Baldman, be your first Adepticon. It's the greatest show on earth. I love Adepticon. We're going to have a hell of a show this year. A lot going on in the booth. A lot of interactive experience stuff. I'll be doing, along with other artists and friends of ours, we'll be doing like stand-up sessions. We'll have a calendar and a clock timer on there that like every 3 hours we'll do a hour-long session or something like that throughout the day. So we'll do like 3 sessions or 4 sessions throughout each long day at Adepticon, where you can just come sit down for free. We'll have tables, paints, brushes, lights, all that stuff and we'll have a podium with a camera and a big television or 2 televisions so you can watch, ask questions live to me and the other painters. And we'll sit down and we'll say like painting faces with Fuse for an hour. And you can come sit down and join in at any point and paint and have fun. And then we'll do, non-metallic metal and stuff like that. It'll be a lot of fun. Angry, nice. It'd be good to see you. You originally found a Paul Booth Oni mask back in the 90s, but have never seen it since or been able to track it down. What do you mean? Did you buy it? You mean like it's lost in your house? Or you saw one and didn't buy it and want to get it again? Or something like that? It's just a picture of it. You're raised right outside of Milwaukee, so it'd be good to visit family and buy all the loot. Yeah, Adepticon's really cool. It's we've been traveling Europe now with our European office and going to a lot of the shows over there. And they've been tremendous fun because the shows we've been going to are pretty much strictly art, not gaming. And so you have like a painting competition and a bunch of people there talking about the art of miniature and painting techniques and motivational stuff and just talking about models and cool things. And that's super cool for me because I'm more of a painter, less of a gamer. And then you get into Adepticon, and Adepticon has that portion of it, plus all the gaming. So you can play both sides, right? You can be like, I can go hang out and talk about all the art. Obviously, Golden Demon is there. Lots of individual painting competitions. And then, but you can also get in some dice rolling and have some fun and be part of everything you want to. So there's really nothing else like that because every other place that's like all gaming is either small, more regional stuff, still good shows, but to get to that size where the amount of people and the energy is that high the entire time is hard. Because even over in Europe, they're all like, you go to Gen Con, and Gen Con has a lot of energy, but it's for all sorts of games, tabletops, RPGs, card games, the whole 9. There's very little in the world that I've found that is strictly tabletop wargaming at that scale for Adepticon that brings that kind of energy, and everybody you run into is looking to push miniatures on the table. It's great. It's tremendous. Oh, you saw it and didn't get the picture of the flash page from his booth and regretted it ever since. What's going on NDK? Well, guys and gals, I think that's it for me. We're up at about 6 o'clock. I go home, pet the dogs, say hi to Jen, sit with my honey for tonight. We got a Friday show to do tomorrow. If you're new around here, please hit that follow button or that subscribe button if you're over on YouTube. We stream live to Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona. So we'd love to see you back. So sign up for the alerts, get all the bings, bangs, and booms to come join us. Make sure to go !Discord. I don't have a keyboard, so come back tomorrow and get our Discord link and go check us out on Discord. But I'd love to see everybody back. Thank you so much for joining us. If you stuck in on the raid, hopefully I've shown you some cool stuff. I'm having fun painting this guy. It's turning out pretty good for and I know I piss people off, but for a very fast, down and dirty paint job, I'm really thinking this color scheme that we've worked up is going to look good on these dwarves. I'm going to brighten up the skin on the dwarves a little bit. I think it's going to be a little bit too dark against the jade to keep doing what I was doing here, but not by much. I'll leave this guy the way he is, just because I can have various skin tones on the army. But I think I'll brighten it up a little bit so it has a little bit more contrast with the jade armor, a little bit more pale. But I was trying to see if we could stay away from like pale orcs, like living under the ground in a cave pale. But I need to brighten up it a little bit. So I'll play with that, build some more. And then over the weekend, I'm going to build that Yorogamo and paint a big freaking spider demon. Yeah. Yeah. Base 11 Marines. That's awesome, Wire. Good job. Good job. Good job. Oh, look at that. Exclamation point. Tommy Front Seat, you did it. Thank you so much. Click the Discord link. Go join our Discord community. There's over 6,000 amazing artists just like you guys and gals. Great place for inspiration, help with a hobby. You can help people in the hobby and feel good about yourself. Really works. Really works. Hang out, tell jokes, show you off your pets, tell us what you're having for dinner, and make new friends. Love to see you over there. So thank you, everyone. I'm going to turn it off because I am not where I can raid anybody. So I'm going to turn it off and tell everybody, go click on the miniatures tab below our screen and find the next person in line and go show some love in that chat. Enjoy your hobby throughout the night. We'll catch you back here